The national anthem tonight will be sung by Jessica Allstaff.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Allstaff.
Certainly some local flavor there with Mr. Donahue coming back off of his NFL career and coming back to Billings to wrap it up, playing in front of the hometown crowd here in Billings. He'll be getting some time at defensive end tonight. He is one of your captains for the evening, as well as they go out for the coin toss. For those of you that may not remember, indoor football, obviously very different than the outdoor game. Only 8 guys on a side. You cannot punt the football. You can have a man in motion towards the line of scrimmage, but you can't have too many. On the defensive side of the ball, you have to stay in between the tackle boxes for that linebacker position, and you can't be moving towards the line of scrimmage as the ball is snapped. So always kind of trying to balance that. Kelly Rouse, when he was here, obviously Travis Salter, well known in the community as well, playing that middle linebacker position and playing it very, very well. So big shoes here to fill, coming off back-to-back championships for this Billings Outlaw franchise. Obviously, times passed 12 years ago, but back-to-back championships, 2009 and 2010, and back on the field tonight.
It's your choice. What would you like to choose?
Pitbulls this evening, so they have made
Chuck from Jacobs Contracting.
A very long
do
trip
the honors.
indeed. I was talking to some of the Pitbull players before the game. They came up all the way from Dallas. And I said, boy, you know, they fly up here for this ball game. He said, no, no. We were on the bus all the way from Dallas. I said, well, were they not like yours? He said, no, they just, you know, we're not all from Dallas. Yeah, I've been on buses with the Outlaws before, and I can tell you, Sioux City is plenty far enough to be traveling to play a football game, and they come in considerably further than that. So 15 minutes up on that clock. We welcome those of you who are watching online, listening online on ESPN910.com, and watching this feed live as well on the CIF network. So
Dylan Donahue, are you ready for
Anderson, what are you looking to see tonight? The indoor game traditionally a lot more scoring, because the reality is the kickers, quarterbacks, you're in scoring position every time you touch the football.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're in kicking position almost the whole game.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I've never watched or experienced an indoor football game, so this will be an interesting and a fun memory.
Well, and I remember being up here when the Wolves came back a couple of years ago for their brief stint, doing the first game for the SWX network at that point, and Chris Byers being up here asking about, hey, do we have a too deep or anything? And I looked at him like he had
Your
great heads.
entertainment tonight
21 guys on the active roster, pal.
Matches.
There is no too deep. There's only 5 total subs, and one of them's a kicker. So not a whole lot of extra bodies on the sideline down there. Nobody going both ways to start out with, at least. But certainly you do need guys that have a wide breadth of abilities, because a lot of times in the indoor game, your wide receivers, your backup quarterback, your offensive tackles, your backup nose guard, and that's just kind of the way it is. There are certainly some differences, a lot of similarities. Ball still takes some funny bounces. It's still not round. You're still playing on turf, so we shall see what happens tonight as this inaugural season of the newest incarnation of the Billings Outlaws gets underway here for 2022.
Well, yeah, I would ask a quick question. So I would assume the scoring's the same.
Scoring is the same.
Okay.
There is one difference. You can get what's called a rouge, which is if you kick off and the other team doesn't field it, it's not live. You can down it in the other team's end zone, or you can tackle them in the end zone, and that's 1 point. And if it goes over the back of the boards like that, it comes out, I believe, to the 5-yard line. The 25 obviously is midfield.
Okay.
So you can't bring it all the way back out there. If it goes out over the boards on the side, well, they are going to bring it out to the 25. Okay. So they'll start at midfield. So that's going to be one of the tricks tonight to watch as far as the kickers. Unlike the outdoor game where you can just kind of go ahead and wail away, and if it goes out of the back of the end zone, no biggie. Here, you want to keep it inside the boards. You do want to make them return it, because otherwise you give fantastic field position as the Pitbulls will go to work first here tonight, and they will do so from midfield.
All right, yeah, I mean, it's already... wait, so like it's curved in the end zone.
It is curved in the end zone to fit into the buildings. And as you travel around the league, what you'll see is that none of the fields are exactly the same. Kind of similar to baseball or even hockey, where there are rules to a degree, but it's got to fit in the building. That's the only one that really matters. And so you will see differences a little bit. Here, the end zones are the full 10 yards deep at their deepest point, but you're right, they curve around the corners.
All righty, yep. So already down number 1 for the Pitbulls. Here's the hike. It's kind of a muffed, and he's going to be tackled right behind the line of scrimmage.
So the initial tackle there, middle linebacker coming right up the gut on that one, and that is Antoine Denarius from Southern Mississippi. He's playing defensive back and linebacker. Comes up from that middle linebacker spot that I talked about. 2 men in motion on either side, so there are certainly some differences, but obviously you cannot be across the line of scrimmage, so you do have to watch that. You can be in motion, but you do have to make sure that you don't break that plane of the line of scrimmage or bring up second down and a little bit longer for the Pitbulls.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that wasn't the best. I could see even get it better down. Let's see, Outlaws are gonna try to get another stop here. Handoff is to the right, and he'll go up and pass the line of scrimmage and get probably 3 or 4 yards. That was number 3 with the carry.
And the big fella going up the gut there is the Pitbulls coming in all the way from Dallas, Texas. So a long trip. That young man doesn't look like he's missed a lot of trips through the buffet line, but once he gets that big body going, it is hard to get him to the turf.
Yeah.
And watch the far side across from us as wide receiver backed way back to get a full head of steam.
Yes, he does. And now hiked in. He jukes him out of his boots, and he's running, and he does run around the kind of the sponsors right there, and he is going to be stopped. Probably a loss of a yard or 2.
He's going to be pushed out of bounds, it looks like, right about the original line of scrimmage. So it will be 3rd down and 10 now for the Pitbulls. Decision time here at midfield. Certainly you're in field goal range. It is a live ball if it doesn't come down, if it comes down in the field of play. So
yeah, I guess there's like really no out of bounds, I guess.
Not really. If you can give yourself up as you go to the sidelines, and then you run the risk of an unnecessary roughness penalty, which, same thing, 15 yards for unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds.
Okay, yeah, ball is high to number 4's in the backfield, and he's going to be trailed down and sacked. Probably a good 7 or 8 yards in the backfield for the Outlaws.
Donahue and company playing to the crowd there as they get into the backfield, and that's going to set up the Outlaws with fantastic field position as they will go to work for the first time this evening, first down and 10 from about the Pitbull 18-yard line. So C.J. McCollum, they mentioned in the introduction, the all-time leading passer in the history of indoor football. He's played in a variety of leagues, but he broke the record of one Christopher Alex Dixon last season in terms of total passing yardage. Chris Dixon, obviously a longtime member of the Billings Outlaws and very active in this community for a number of years, and set all sorts of records, also a member of the Hall of Fame for the UIF, or for the IFL rather.
Yep, now McCollum in the backfield has the man right open in the middle of the field, overthrown, probably a foot above his hands, incomplete.
And that's the old James Walton play. Just drag him across the middle right there. There's not a whole lot you can do. You got a 6'3", 6'4" wide receiver dragging across the middle of the formation, and you got a 5'10", 5'11" defensive back there. It's a mismatch all day long.
Yeah, here comes the wide receivers now. McCollum in the backfield has to make a decision. Rolls to his right, and he's going to sneak it in the corner. No, and it'll go out of the ring, kind of off of the hands of number 9 for the Outlaws.
You do get to keep the football. If it goes into the stands, you do get to keep that as a souvenir.
Every time.
Every time you get to keep the football if it goes into the stands.
That's a lot of footballs.
Over the course of a year, it does cut into the old bottom line. There's no question about that. Certainly, I imagine Mr. McCollum has been given instructions. Hey, let's try and keep it under the boards, huh?
All righty, so right now, and number 1, McCollum in the back, fires deep. Number 10 caught in the end zone. And the Outlaws, with the first touchdown of the game, will get their first points on the boards.
And the end zone brought to you by Fireplace Center of Billings, one of our end zone sponsors all season long. Also the sponsor of the opening kickoff, the Fireplace Center of Billings. So the Outlaws on the board first, 6-0, pending the extra point here. Kicks brought to you all season long by Jacobs Contracting.
Yeah, so and they have a smaller target.
They do, much more narrow and a little bit closer. So you do have to be very accurate. Not a great snap.
Yeah, not a great snap, and it also is going to be a flag on the play. He didn't quite catch that as well.
And
let's see what
on the call here.
Yeah.
First game of the year for the referees as well, as they're trying to figure out.
23, Texas, rushing off the end. We'll replay the try.
All right,
the Outlaws going to get another chance. The Pitbulls rather coming in off the end. You can rush up the middle, but you cannot come off the corners, and that's what the call was. That they were trying to cut the corner there and get in, get the block on the field goal. As bad as the snap was.
All right, it's set and it's up, and it'll go through. Up and good. Make Outlaws 7, Pitbulls 0. 10-12 to play here in the first quarter.
So the Outlaws on the board first and off to a good start here in their inaugural season. We'll see how this game progresses throughout the course of the evening. A pretty decent crowd beginning to trickle in here on a Thursday night here at First Interstate Bank Arena at Metro Park. The first time we have been back here, as I mentioned, in quite some time. And your first experience watching indoor football here. I know you've done a lot of games around the area, both in football, basketball, volleyball, a lot of experience doing broadcasting in general, but your first opportunity to see a professional game, and your first opportunity to do an indoor game, so a new experience for you as well.
Yeah, I just love how there's football and there's indoor football, and you have so many differences. It makes the game even more exciting. So, and you said these games get up to 100?
Well, they sometimes do. In all the years I did Outlaw games, they never actually got there, but I can absolutely vouch for the fact as they're going to squib it down the field here. This one will be fielded at the goal line out to the 5, the 10, the 15, out to about the 19-yard line for the Pitbulls. So that's where they will go to work for their second possession of the night. There certainly were some games that we did. I could think of one in Anchorage for sure that was about 52-0, I think, at halftime. And that's the only reason I know about the Rouge is the Outlaws literally scored every way you could score. They blocked it. They blocked a field goal and returned it for a touchdown. They fielded one in the end zone and returned it for a touchdown. They got a Rouge where they tackled somebody on a kickoff in the end zone, and it was 50-0 at halftime. Also on a Thursday night, virtually empty building. They could have scored 100 that night if they had wanted to.
So I have a quick question. So like, what is it? Is the safety? Is that the Rouge or?
No, it's the Rouge is if you tackle, so yeah, essentially it's a safety. If you tackle somebody in the end zone.
But it's only on a kickoff.
But only on a kickoff, and it's worth 1 point.
Oh, okay. All right. So right here, it's going to be run up the middle, door number 1, and it's going to be stopped by probably 4 or 5 Outlaws.
A lot of black jerseys down there taking on Babcock. If you're listening, let's hope your baby blue and white do a little better playing in the NCAA tournament than they've done thus far tonight. As the Carolina Blue out there is having some troubles with the black and blue of the Outlaws right now.
Yeah, 8:40 to play here in the first. Outlaws lead with the first score of the game.
Still looking for their first down of the night are the Pitbulls. They've only had 1 positive play thus far, so very much looking to get on track.
Yep, shotgun formation, 2 men in motion, and he's going to roll right, and he's fumbled, and it's going to be picked up by the Outlaws. Let's see. I saw the ball come out, and that was Dylan Donahue, who hit him pretty hard and made the ball come out. Outlaws.
And it is Outlaw football.
This one, yep. What a play.
So another turnover there. This one coming courtesy of the hometown boy, Dylan Donahue, and with Donahue Roofing, obviously, and making his presence felt early on. I'm sure there will be lots of that as our sponsors tonight, Jacobs Contracting, Era American Real Estate, Moto Mortgage, Fireplace Centers of Billings, the A-Team Contracting, CQ Fire and Safety, and Lithia Dodge, as well as Billings Clinic. Proud sponsor of the Jackets and Apparel, available here at the stadium. Come on down and see us if you're out and about on Thursday night and tuning in. Plenty of good seats still available.
Yeah, right there on the last play. I mean, the quarterback, number 4, he had a man downfield. He just kind of fumbled the ball in his hands while trying to get it to him. So.
This will also be your first media timeout.
And we're going to take a timeout on the field. We don't have any pre-produced commercials here at the radio station tonight, so we'll keep it right here. We can keep talking about the ball game thus far. 8:17 to go here in quarter number 1, and the Outlaws and Pitbulls locked in this one, played entirely up until this point in the Pitbulls end of the field as they got the ball at midfield to start. They have not been able to move it past that point, but for 1 down. There was 1 snap at about the Outlaws' 24-yard line. Other than that, it's all been played on the Pitbulls side of the field thus far tonight.
Outlaw Nation.
Certainly looking to try and get something going, but I tell you what, having been on a bunch of those bus trips, I can tell you it does take a lot out of you. That is a long time on a greyhound.
Yeah. I would imagine they would bring a good-sized pillow and a good-sized blanket.
I used to sleep. It took me about 2/3 of the first season to figure out that if I slept in the aisle and put my head behind me towards the back of the bus, then I didn't sleep with my head downhill and have all the blood rush to my head. And you could actually stretch out, and everybody else was behind you, and they just left you alone. And that actually worked out pretty well. But yeah, until I figured that out, my former radio partner, Babcock, fits pretty well on a side seat as long as it's just him. But yeah,
First down on the
it took
10-yard line.
a little bit of finagling to figure out how it was we were going to make that work. We figured it out eventually, but it did take some time, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Now, back in action, Outlaws. You're sitting at the 10-yard line, and 10 yards to go. Now, man in motion, shotgun formation for Charles McCollum, and it's going to be handed off, but it's a fumble. It's picked up, and here comes Dallas.
Fumble on the play,
Pitbulls
recovered by
will take this one up.
Lone
Probably,
Star.
is it past the 25? Barely, maybe.
For the first time, I think, maybe.
Let's see. I want to see where this ball is placed.
Nope, still in there into the field by about that proverbial index card, just inside the 25-yard line there. Boy, a heart in your throat moment, though, for this Outlaw faithful, I'm sure, as the ball pops out and you've got your all-star quarterback over there having to make a tackle on a defensive lineman running down the sideline. He pushes him into the boards, but boy, you don't want to see number 1 out there making tackles. He wants to be making other people miss, not the other way around.
Yeah. All righty, under 8 minutes to go here in this first quarter. And Dallas to take over at midfield with the ball, I guess, is almost pass. Well, let's see if Outlaws can defend their territory on this side of the field and hold the Pitbulls to another scoreless run. Now, shotgun formation for the Dallas Pitbulls. And man emotions are going to come from behind, and he's going to go, and he's going to look and hand it off to the big fella, running right. Now back into the 10 to the 5, and he's going to be brought down.
Low star to the 5-yard line.
Probably the 5-6-yard line.
Boy, here's a reference that's going to date me a little bit. Looks like Earl Campbell running down the sideline there. He's got thighs like tree trunks, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling in that baby blue that the Houston Oilers used to have.
It's on the
5-yard as I said earlier, once he gets going,
it's hard to stop.
That's a lot of body to get in the ground. They do manage to do it, but not before he picks up 20 yards. So that'll set up our first and goal of the night, and it will be on the Pitbulls side of the ledger.
Yep, first time for the Pitbulls on this side of the field. 5 yards to go. Now shotgun formation, man in motion coming from behind. And 2 will go, and he's going to get the hike, and he's going to run it himself up the middle. Can he get there? Yes, he does. Pitbulls gets the first touchdown, or their first touchdown, here at 6 minutes and 30 seconds in the first.
So waiting on the extra point to tie the ball game, or see if the ball game will be tied. Extra points, as you mentioned earlier, narrower goalposts, and that's always a little bit of a roll of the dice, because you get kickers that come in from the outdoor game. And, you know, you're used to kicking off of grass. You're used to having to compensate for the wind, you know, all those types of things. You're kicking off of turf. And so, you know, the conditions obviously not going to change very much, as they're going to elect not to kick it, at least for the moment. So the Pitbulls back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So now here's the hike, and number 5 will take this one out to the right side, and he's going to jump in. They're going to give it to him. The official on the right side got the ball in.
Extra point is good.
So he extends his right arm. He's going down the left sideline, extends his right arm, crosses the plane. The ball comes out, goes over the boards, but obviously once you cross the plane, it doesn't matter. So the Pitbulls will take the lead now, 8-7 on essentially one big, well, I guess 2 big plays. The turnover, obviously, a big deal as well, where they get the football back at midfield with good field position, and then the one big play to get it down to 5, punch it in, and they run sort of a weird formation there, snap it to the tailback, he hands it to the quarterback, and he's able to find the corner there, turns the corner, and just barely get into the end zone for the 8-7 lead. 5:44 to go here in quarter number 1, and we'll be getting another kickoff. Kickoffs brought to you all season long by the Fireplace Center of Billings, as the Outlaws be receiving the kick from the Pitbulls for the first time this evening. The Outlaws, of course, kicked off to start the game, and Pitbulls not able to do anything with it at the time, but are able to convert the turnover there into some points. So we'll see whether or not, boy, they got that is not a young man that I would see in a football uniform and expect to be a kicker.
Yeah.
Big number 97 down there, standing about 6'5" and 285, 290 pounds. If he gets all his leg into this, keeping it in the building might be a problem.
Yeah, it's going to bounce, and it's going to stay right by the Coca-Cola, and now picked up number 9, jukes him out of his boots, rolls right, he's stealing in, and it is going to be taken over to the right side, down by number 7.
And that's Gary Brown on the return, so he's able to get out, good field position for the Outlaws, as they will go back to work at their own 20, well, actually going to be back in the Pitbull side of the field. So for, as it has been throughout the first quarter, the Outlaws offense out there operating in the opposite end of the field, as this will be 1st and 10 for the Outlaws at the Pitbull 24-yard line.
Yep, and Outlaws trying to capitalize on this possession and take back the lead here in the first. Up to the line, here they come. Outlaws, 2 men in the backfield for a wide receiver position. Charles McCollum gives the signal. Here they come, men in motion, shotgun formation. They're going to look long in the end zone, number 9, and it's caught. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Outlaws to retake their lead, 13-8.
Brought to you by
So
Quickness
all
Roofing
Gary Brown all the time on that one as he gets the kick return and the reception in the end zone. He did most of the heavy lifting. They figured they'd let him go ahead and finish it off. He was open. He got behind the defense there. You can use the sidelines as that extra defender, but you do need to make sure that you push into that sideline inside that 5 yards. Otherwise, you get flagged. And Gary Brown able to get behind the defense there. A beautiful pass from McCullum as he just lays it right in the breadbasket. All he had to do was close around the ball. Touchdown Outlaws, 9-8 the lead, pending the extra point here as Daly will come out ready to handle the extra point duties. The kick is up, and it is
Extra point is good.
Make it 14-8.
4:47 left to the first
It's
quarter
9-8, but I believe it should be 14, correct?
It should be 14-8. That's
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Media timeout.
First day for the scorekeepers as well, apparently. And so
First
we
day
got
for everybody.
It is first day for everybody. That is absolutely accurate. But pleasure to have you all with us here on this Thursday evening. I know we got pretty nice weather outside, but if you're out working in the yard, make sure you turn us on, take us with you. Available all across the world on ESPN910.com. They had 110 there for a second. Now we're back to 9 again. Well, the Outlaws up one way or another. We'll figure out exactly how far ahead they are here at some point. But yeah, it should be 14-8 for the Outlaws. Kicks brought to you all season long by Fireplace of Billings. End zone sponsor, also Fireplace of Billings. The Outlaws not spending a lot of time down there, primarily because they have scored from outside the 10. I've always sort of figured inside the 10-yard line on a 50-yard field, more realistic in terms of the red zone. Obviously, if you go all the way out to the 20, you got more red than you got green out there on the field. So inside the 10-yard line is the red zone in the indoor game. The Outlaws just haven't been down there at all. But they do have 14 points up on the, well, they have 9 points up on the scoreboard, but it should be 15.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get that figured out.
Get that figured out at some point. Oh, now it's 110 on the Pitbulls side. Yeah, back to 8. Okay, so we got one right.
Yeah,
440
50% way there.
We're halfway home, exactly. We're halfway there.
Yeah, Luke Daly, 2 for 2. And we'll see how long he goes for 100%.
Have to check. I'm guessing he is a Montana State grad, and way back in the day, there was another Daly that played here at the middle linebacker position, Bobby, who also played at Montana State. I'm guessing probably not a younger brother, just because that's quite a bit of a difference in age.
Yeah.
But very well might be a cousin or something. I don't know. But we'll have to check with the younger Daly and find out what the story is there. But a nice job handling the kicking duties thus far, and he will be handling the kickoff duties.
Yep. Kicks it a little on the right side. Punts it all the way, and it will go out of bounds. Yep. And it will probably be out of bounds 3, 4, or 5 yard line.
Ball will be placed at the 25-yard line.
So it'll come back out to the 25-yard line. So once again, good field position for the Pitbulls. They haven't been able to do a whole lot with it, with the exception of that one big run that they had. But that one big run, enough to get them down into scoring position, and then they were able to convert. So we'll see whether or not they can continue that same MO and get points on the scoreboard again, although right now, I mean, one ties it. First, according to the scoreboard. So,
according to the scoreboard.
We will see if they can get that part of it figured out.
Let's make some noise. Help this defense.
Pitbulls here at the 25-yard line, looking to take back the lead. If they do, it will be either 16-14 or 15-14. And here it is, shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the right and 1 receiver to the left. Here comes man in motion. Here they both come from the right. Up close on the left side, and he's going to hand this one off to the big fella, and he's going to be stopped probably a good
Outlaw
3 yards.
Sets up a second down.
Yeah, we'll call it second down and 7 for the Pitbulls as they're going to run.
Please put
One of the few
14
plays they've
points
run in
for the
outlaw
Billings
territory here.
Outlaw on
The
the
Outlaws, when they have been in this
14
position
points
earlier
for
in the
the
ball
Outlaws.
game tonight, have been able to get to the quarterback. The Pitbulls have struggled with that, not really the center quarterback exchange so much because they've been out of shotgun pretty much all night, and they will continue to do that again here tonight. But they certainly have had some issues with the snap getting to the quarterback cleanly, and that has had an impact on the defensive line for the Outlaws' ability to get after the quarterback up until this point.
Yep, all right. Quarterback's going to tell him to go back, and here's the wide receiver going right, and he's going to hand it over to the right side. Passes way off thrown for the Pitbulls.
And they got away with one there because the wide receiver on the far side of the field away from us was about a yard and a half, 2 yards offside.
Number 62 is Josh Receiver, and he says it's third down.
Watching the snap of the football, didn't notice that, that white streak that went by yet. There's a guy with a helmet inside of that. But did not throw the flag, so it'll bring up third down now and long for the Pitbulls as they need to get right to the 15-yard line to pick up a first down. They can pick up a fresh set and one more potentially without getting into the end zone. That clock ticking down, under 3 minutes to go by the end of this play.
Yep, Outlaws are on defense. Pitbulls shotgun formation on a fullback behind.
Give him a head of steam.
And they're going to toss it to him, and now he's going to throw it downfield, and it's caught. Spin move again, and the Outlaws, number 33, will take him down near the 2-yard line.
So it'll be inside the 5, first and goal for the Pitbulls as the Outlaws having a little troubles once they get down in this end. If they're not getting pressure on the quarterback, little trickery there from the Pitbulls, and it works out well for him. It's wide open on the drag pattern across the middle of the formation. Was the wide receiver. He's able to pull it in, did his darndest to get away from that secondary. He's not able to break free, but he does make the catch. So it'll be first and goal for the Pitbulls now inside the Outlaws 5.
Yep, shotgun formation. 2 receivers to his right. The receiver on the left is going to go behind the QB. And here comes the handoff to the big fella. He is going to get probably 3 or 4 yards.
We get down to about the 1, so it's going to be second down and very short. And he's down back there looking at a tailback that's got to be going probably 260, 270. And if they line him up deep in the backfield, which is what I would anticipate, figure, hey, you got 6 foot plus worth of body there. All you got to do is fall forward, and we get 6. So let's make it happen, big dog.
Yep. Pitbulls looking to try to get their second score of the game. And here's the hike, hiking now. Big fella again is going to be brought down by 3 or 4 defenders. That is going to be number 15 on the sack, if I can find him. Claude Davis.
Claude Davis, big shoes to fill wearing that 15. Be more if you're out there. We miss you, brother. Come on by and see us here in the building. 15, a number that is well known indeed to Billings Outlaw fans for a good number of years. It said B-A-Z-E-M-O-R-E across the back. And Mike Bazemore still in town, now the athletic director up at Montana State University Billings. So around the area, around this Outlaw franchise for a long time, and third down now and goal to go for the Pitbulls.
Yep, now coming under just a minute here in the first. Now here comes the 2 wide receivers around the quarterback, and here they come. Ball is hiked, and he's looking in the end zone. Pressure from the right, and he's going to throw it way up and high. And too far, intended for, I believe, number 3.
So that's going to bring up decision time now for the Pitbulls. 32 seconds to go. I don't believe they're going to get it spotted. No, they're not. They're not going to have to run another play before the end of the first quarter.
Ball is at the 4-yard line.
So we'll see whether or not they elect to do it. They've got some time to play with here
Gotta
if
have
they
you
choose.
one more time.
But it looks like they probably are going to let this run down to the end of the first quarter of play. They still haven't fixed the scoreboard, but the Outlaws have gotten into the end zone twice. The most recent one by Gary Brown on a long pass from C.J. McCollum. So it should be 14-8 Outlaws as the score, despite what it reads up there on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard here in First Interstate Bank Arena at Metro Park. So the end of 1, 14-8 your score. The Outlaws on top, but the Pitbulls knocking on the door. So they'll have to make a decision here. It's going to be 4th down and goal to go from about the 4 as we begin the second half, or second quarter of play, rather. So what did you see in that first quarter there, Anderson? A lot of differences from the outdoor game, but a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I mean, the Outlaws just came out with some nice energy. Oh, and they're restarting the whole clock as we speak. But, I mean, Dallas, they have some tough players. I mean, they have also some big players. And Outlaws...
Everything's bigger in Texas, baby.
Everything is bigger in Texas. So, I mean, Outlaws, they're going to have to stop, what is it, number 3, number 77, and whoever's...
Yeah, I mean, they clearly, you know, their strategy coming into this is they think they've got an advantage on across those lines. And they're going to try and run that big back right up the middle. You talked about it earlier, door number 1, door number 2 on either side of that center. Only three offensive linemen in the indoor game, so not as many gaps on this field that's roughly half the size. So certainly not as much room to operate, but at the same time, not as many defenders out there either. And you've only got 3 defensive linemen across there, the single linebacker and the 4 defensive backs. So you get that big body going in there, and if you get into the secondary, boy, that secondary's giving up a lot of weight to that back if he gets through that hole.
Yeah.
4th down and goal to go. It doesn't look like they're going to kick it. They didn't kick the extra point after they scored the first time either, so entirely possible that they decided to save themselves a little room for that tailback on the bus and leave a kicker at home.
Yeah. So now let's see what they're going to do. We got number 3, big man here at the quarterback position. He's going to take a roll right, and he's going to be... He reached across and the ball just come out.
It did.
And nope, but this referee, they're going to say that they got the touchdown.
The ball did come out, and the Outlaws recovered, but they're going to say he did break the plane before the ball came out. The Outlaw faithful not particularly happy about that call, but I think that is probably the right call because he was reaching out, and as I said earlier.
So they're going to say his play is under review. I think they just said that the play is going to...
Well, all right. That's a new one for me, but all right. I've never seen an indoor game actually under review. But, you know, hey, we got the technology, folks, so we might as well use it.
Right.
Somebody's down there with an iPhone. And they're going to take a look at it and make a decision here. I think that was the right call. It looked
I
to
think
me
it
like,
was as well.
He reached out, and as I said, vertical plane. As soon as the point of the football crosses the plane, the rest of it after that's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. And I think he did get in, not by much, but he got in by enough. And as soon as you cross the plane, the play is dead. So
yeah,
what happens after that does not impact the outcome. So we'll see how long this review takes. 14:38 to go here, and apparently restarting the scoreboard did not get them to fix the score. They've got the period correct up there. And the Pitbulls side of the ledger is correct. The Outlaws, they still have listed as ahead 9-8. So I'm not real sure what the issue is there, but we'll do our best to keep you properly updated. 14-8 is the score.
Touchdown.
Okay, yeah, it is going to be a touchdown for the Pitbulls. Does the Pitbulls side work?
Well, I guess that remains to be seen. We will have to figure out. They've had as many as 110 on both sides at times.
Well, I saw 115.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it. Well, you know, then they're close. You know, 110, 115, 9-8. We're in the ballpark here. It's one-score game either way.
Yeah.
Clock will start once again as they will come back out in that same formation. Big running back is lined up at the quarterback spot. The quarterback lined up off his right hip.
Yep, number 3 throws into the end zone, and it's going to be missed right through his hands for the Pitbulls.
Should have been caught in the end zone there. He was open, and it was a good pass. So had the opportunity there, but as it is, it will. Oh, now we're back to 115, 14. It should be 14 apiece.
So
but apparently the Outlaws
we just got to ignore the 1.
Outlaws up by a Benjamin right now, 114 to 14. A lot of 14s up there. 114, 114 now. with 15 to go in the second quarter of play. So the scoreboard operator having a little bit of struggle here this evening, but that's all right. We are tied at 14, and I guess that's why you go for 2 on that first play, or the first point after touchdown. Because obviously, if you make a mistake further on, then you get them out of time. It's just as good as kicking, provided you make all the kicks. That's the strategy the Pitbulls are going with, and right now, now it's tied at 114. I guess we're just ignoring the ones. So.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do.
Well, fair enough.
Yep. So now Pitbulls looking to kick this one off, and number 97 in the back. And the kick is up, and it's going to be a little squib, and it'll bounce all the way back, and it's going to be fielded by number 9. Gary Brown is going to take him left, but a flag is thrown and brought down by number 5.
Brown with the return. Flag on the play. Wait for the call. Penalties brought to you by Sean O'Daniel.
Penalty on the play
State
as number 5 brings down Gary Brown after he rolled left.
So we'll check on the penalties here as the Zebras getting together, trying to sort out the laundry on the field here. I think this may be a penalty on one on each team, because I think it was a block in the back by the Outlaws. We'll check.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Personal foul, face mask, 21 on the return team. Personal foul, face mask, 22 on the kicking team. Those penalties will offset, and we will re-kick.
So we had a personal foul penalty, face mask penalty, 1 on each of them.
Outlaw fans, don't
so
forget
we
about
will
the
re-kick, 14:06 to go, and we're going to line it back up, trot down to your respective quarters, and try this thing one more time as the Pitbulls will be kicking off once again.
This is also Breast Cancer Awareness Night, so wear your pink aprons.
Yep, 14-14 with 14:06 to play. Outlaws ready to return. Let's see if we can have no more offsetting penalties. So after, like, it just keeps rolling. Clock just keeps rolling.
The clock keeps rolling except on changes of possession, except inside the last 2 minutes of the half.
Okay.
And so at the end of a game, it can matter if the game is close. As this one is kicked, it bounces high in the airfield at 5 out to the 10, the 15, a little room out to the 20, may get a face mask or a horse collar, no laundry on the field. So the Outlaws will go back to work 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And I have seen games, honestly, an indoor game where 2 minutes, it's like the end of an NBA game. I mean, it takes forever, and there's a ton of points scored, because you can get there from anywhere on the field. And so, you know, even if you're dropping back from your own 5 or your own 10, you're in scoring range.
Yeah.
And so you can take 4 shots at the end zone from your own 10-yard line without any trouble. And, you know, you take 4 shots down there, a lot of times you're going to get one of them, and they don't burn a whole lot of clock because the ball's in the air, and then on an incomplete pass or a change of possession, it stops the clock. So if we do get to that point late in the ball game and this one's close, we'll see whether or not that comes into play.
Yep, shotgun formation, and now it's going to be handed off. Number 23 gets a block, and he's going to go up the middle, get around the 15-yard line. And it's going to be a first down for the Outlaws.
First down is brought to you by the A-Team Contracting, our proud sponsors of Outlaws 2022. The Outlaws now go and hurry up. This was their intention going into the game. They haven't really had an opportunity to do it because they just haven't gotten very many first downs. They've scored quickly when they've had the football. They just haven't had it a whole lot because the Pitbulls have had trouble moving the football. And but when it's all said and done, as we tick under 13 minutes to go here in the first half of play, doing it very different ways. The Outlaws losing the time of possession in spades, but still 14 apiece on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, that last play just kind of rolled and then got a block and got loose. But now right here, same person, number 23 gets loose, and he'll stumble but keeps himself on his feet.
So it's going to bring up
Tyrese Thomas on the carry. He stumbled probably around the 10 and got near the 4. Kept himself on its feet, and another first down, Outlaws.
So So the Outlaws now 1st and goal from about the 3.5. McCullum puts a man in motion.
Yeah, pitches it over to the same person every time. Spin move into the end zone and touchdown, Outlaws.
So there's a couple of things here. Penalty on the field. So we'll check on that first of all. Holding on the offense. So this one's coming back. This was essentially the strategy they had in a roundabout way the last time they had the football. The entire drive, courtesy of the wide receiver on the last drive. This one entirely courtesy of the running game. So the Outlaws obviously testing some things out here early in this 2022 season, wanting to find out, you know, can we run the ball? Can we throw the ball? What is most effective? I think what they found, they had one drive where they scored a touchdown entirely throwing the football, and there they had one that, but for the penalty, they would have scored entirely running the football. But as it is, it's going to be 1st and 10, or 1st and goal for the Outlaws out at about their own about the Pitbull 13.
Yep, now the Outlaws shotgun formation, 2 men in motion, running upfield, crosses, and it's going to be taken. Number 23 again, and they're going to let him go all the way in, and it's another touchdown for the Outlaws.
And no laundry on the field, so this one's going to count. So 20 pending the extra point. We'll see if they send Daly out there. They will. So the Outlaws going to go ahead and try and take the points the traditional way and kick the extra point as they come back to the line of scrimmage. Ball will be spotted right there in front of the goalpost at the 3.
Yeah, I mean,
it up.
They let number 23, Tyrese Thomas, do that whole possession.
Student body left, student body right, student body in.
Yeah, 11 minutes to 11:40 to play, and there's 2 flags.
The kick is good for now, so we'll have to check on the penalty. I think maybe that was coming in on the outside again. Both teams pointing at the other. It was on the line of scrimmage. That much I can tell you, just based on where the flags are.
Yeah, Outlaws players saying to decline.
Yep.
Yep.
On the defense, that penalty has been declined.
So same penalty it was on the last extra point. Unfortunately for the Pitbulls, the last extra point was missed. This one went in, so it really didn't make as much of a difference. They could have made them kick it again had it been against the Outlaws, but the kick was up and good, so the Outlaws, not surprisingly, declined the penalty. They'll take the points and give us a 14-21 score with just under 11:40 to go here in the first half of play. Mr. Daly has been busy thus far as the Outlaws, their 3rd touchdown. They kicked off to start the ball game, and obviously the extra points, their kicks all season long, brought to you by the Fireplace Center of Billings. If they do have an extra, or have a field goal rather, the ERA American Real Estate, our field goal sponsor, all during the 2022 season.
Yep, now for the Outlaws, number 34 to kick this one off. He's done it all game. Luke Daly, and it's up, and it's caught back in the end zone for the Pitbulls. Here they come up on the right side. Spin move, keeps it going. Outlaws trying to catch him, which they will.
Tackled by
near the
21-yard
line.
Sets up a first down, Lone Star.
So the Pitbulls will go back to work in their own end of the field. Ironically, 4 yards short of midfield, the worst starting field position of the game.
Mountain alarm, fire, and security.
What can they do with it? They haven't really been able to get much of anything going on the offensive side of the football, aside from running that big tailback. A little bit of gimmick where he lines up in the quarterback spot and then hands off.
First down to the 21-yard line for Lone Star.
So we'll see whether or not they continue with that. But they
in
really
the ball
have
game
not
now,
tried to throw the ball
number
a
79,
when they have.
Latrell Golden.
Yeah, we're coming down to 11 minutes in the first half. How long is their halftime?
15 minutes.
15, oh, so it is kind of regular?
Yep.
All right,
that
so.
part of it's the same. What's different? We got no commercials.
Yep.
We're keeping it right here, baby.
Right here. So now Pitbulls, 21-yard line, man in motion behind, and here comes the hike, and he's going to hand it off number 3. Number 3's going to roll right, get tripped up by number 2.
Donahue with the stop, check it, Nicholas Gentry.
The Outlaws. That's going to be Daenerys and Tony. Tripped them up, and then
second down at the 23-yard line.
So they're going to have another chance at this at the 20. 23-yard line. Yeah, 23-yard line.
They need to get to about the 19 of the Outlaws to get a first down. So we'll see if they're able to do it. It's second down right now, so they've got a couple of downs to work with. They've not made any indication that they have any intention of kicking at all today. So one would expect, even if they get into fourth down and relatively long, they probably are just going to go ahead and go for it. But as it is, second down and about 8.
Yeah, now Dallas had no
sack by the Billings Outlaws, 43,
79 for the Outlaws. Just talking about him. Golden.
Helping him out, number 79, Latrell Golden.
Wow, I mean, he just caught him in the backfield.
Ball is moved back to the 12-yard line.
It was great coverage by the Outlaws.
Denarius
down the field, and he just could not get the ball out of his hands.
The Outlaws' pass rush has been there pretty much all night tonight.
Third down.
They've been able to get into that backfield. And
Make some
part of, I
noise.
think, why they have run the football.
Right now.
Basically, one of two
Third
things
down.
has
Third down.
happened.
Third
Either the ball's
down.
fallen
Make some
incomplete
noise.
as they end up with a 2-point conversion
Defense.
try, or their quarterback has just been in a world of trouble running for his life back there, just trying to stay upright. For the most part, he's fallen short in that regard. The Outlaws have gotten to him.
Yeah, here comes Dallas. Now they're going to throw this one on the right side. It's hammered, and ball is out, and it is going to, no, they're going to
Number 18, Devontae.
He got hit pretty hard. Number 12 for the Pitbulls. I mean, number, what is that, 24? Just
The Outlaws coming in and absolutely laid the wood. Right, that's about as form a tackle as you're going to see as he put the helmet on the outside, the shoulder into the midsection, and jarred the ball loose. And that's going to bring up fourth down and forever now. Well, a second ago, we were talking about second down and manageable at second down and 7, second down and 7.5, something like that. And then all of a sudden, here we are, fourth down and forever as the Pitbulls all the way back at their own 12-yard line. Needed to get across midfield and another 9-yard, 11-yard, no, 6-yard, sorry.
Mr. Wood says it's fourth down.
To pick up the first down. They need to get to the Outlaws 19, so a little bit of prevent here from the Outlaws as they're just trying to keep them in front.
Yep, they're going to pitch it back, and they're going to look long. Number 3, and he's going to throw it overthrown, now picked off by number 2, Denarius Antoni. Antoni is going to take this one probably near the 21-yard line.
And the soul taker being a rainmaker as he jumps up and pulls that one down. It'll be first and 10 for the Outlaws. He was taken down pretty much immediately after the interception, but Theo Johnson's defense doing their job there. First and 10 for the Outlaws at the Pitbulls 19.
Media.
Yeah, 8:01 to play as they
How about that defense? Billings Outlaws.
21-yard line, taken into Pitbull territory. Where that pass was just overthrown.
First
after
down
that,
on the 19-yard line, brought to you by 18 Contracting. First down.
Pass as he hit him from behind. And the Outlaws took it from there with the interception by Denarius Antoni. Now up a shotgun formation, 2 receivers in the back left. Out the line, Outlaws discussing.
Not sure what they're trying to figure out here. The officials have not started the clock.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what it is they're trying to figure out here from the Zebras, but first game of the season for them as well. Everybody trying to find their way a little bit here.
The Outlaw Nation. Pro Source, Pro Sale, Flooring, Mountain Alarm Fire and Security. Check out Metra RV Center. Booyah! Whatever your corporate sponsors, Outlaw Nation.
Yeah, Outlaws lead by 7 here in the second. Pitbulls with another empty-handed set of downs.
I think maybe what they're looking at is whether or not he actually had possession of that before he came down, and it'll be Outlaws football regardless. The question is whether or not it's going to be Outlaws football at the 19 or whether or not it's going to be Outlaws football closer to the end zone. They say they're going to
first down, 19-yard line.
The field, so it'll be first and 10 for the Outlaws at the 19.
Yep, they were just playing some Jeopardy music.
They were indeed.
Yep, so now left side, runners in motion, and now number 8, the quarterback, is going to take this one up and get a good 5 yards.
Benson with the carry for the quarterback.
Jamario Benson with the carry as he gets good yardage on first down. Brings up second down now and short. So a couple of shots at the end zone likely coming here from Benson as he comes in for McCullum, wanting to find out what he can do at that backup quarterback spot. This not a league game, so the Outlaws an opportunity here. Take a look at some guys.
And see what they're working with. It's stripped loose by number 1, and they took
Fumble on the
10
play.
yards to get
Recovered
him down.
by Lone Star
Have to make the team
at the 24-yard
There
line.
will be cuts after this game, and an injury on the field as the Outlaws have a player down. One of their offensive linemen, it looks like.
I believe it's number 22.
That's what
Officials
Shannon
timeout
Warren.
for an injury.
He's a little bigger than the old 22. Old 22 was Timmy Brown, who went on to play a number of years in the CFL for the BC Lions. I think won a Grey Cup up there playing with them. But proud graduate of Temple University, but only stood about
Don't forget,
5'6".
coming up at halftime, your
Just a little
Lady
guy.
Outlaws with a special dance
Body on the field certainly
performance.
considerably larger than that. But
Into the first
hopefully
half
he'll
of
be
play,
all right.
we'll
Looks like
have
he's got something with
Billings
his
check
arms.
out
I'm
here.
guessing maybe a stinger.
Somebody going to be able
Stinger in his
to
shoulder. He's going to get
kick
up under
a
his own power.
20-yard field goal from
He's holding
Billings
his left
10.
arm. So
Ladies and gentlemen, number 22, Shannon
Warren. Does leave the field
Warren.
under his own power, so that's good.
Yeah, ball's going to be placed here at the 24.
Well, there's a lot of ways to move down the field, and the Pitbulls kind of choosing some unconventional ways to go about that this evening. It's a couple of turnovers here, and this one results in good field position for the Pitbulls once again. They've only been able to cash it in twice. And on kind of
Morgan
uncharacteristic
McCary
for
in
an
the
indoor
game now
only
for the
21-14
Outlaws,
with 7 minutes
joined
to
by
take
Christopher
count here
Rivers.
in the second quarter of play. But obviously the indoor
First
game,
down,
as these teams
24-yard
figure it
line.
out, points not generally at a premium, but they can certainly add up quickly.
Yep, 7 minutes to play before halftime, and here in the first half. So here comes the snap. 2 wide receivers going around the quarterback. Here it is, high snap, hands this one off to number 5, and he's going to be brought down by 79. Who caught him
Coming up from the
as he tried to spin
linebacker
move.
position,
That's going to be
Darius
Laurel Golden on the tackle.
Brought to you by Kirkus Roofing.
So second down, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. Second down and 10 now for the Outlaws.
6:31 left in the first half of play. Booyah. Outlaws 21, Pitbulls 14. Second down defense.
But they have been able to hold the Outlaws largely in check as well, courtesy of a couple of turnovers as in that last drive. So we'll see if they can get something going here, tie the ball game.
Yep, and in motion, here's the throw over to the right side. Caught by number 23, brought down. No, not yet. And they
Pass is complete.
took 3 Outlaws.
Never did get him down, but they pushed him into the boards.
Yep.
We got laundry all over the field in that defensive secondary, however, so there's going to be flags. I'm guessing probably for holding on the defense, but we shall see. Yep, they are going to bring that one down the field. So it looks like it is going to be a first down for the Pitbulls. First down is brought to you by A-Team Contracting all season long. Generally, hopefully, outlaw first downs, but since we don't have any pre-produced commercials, we'll give a few extra.
Illegal defense, ricochet block, number 18. That penalty will be declined. The play results in a first down.
And ERA American Real Estate. That will be a first down
Ball is placed at the 13-yard line.
for the Pitbulls. First and 10 at the 13, so they
Post
can get a fresh set without getting into the end zone. That might be the best throw we've seen all night.
By the official.
Officials there trading the laundry back and forth.
Yep, and here comes the sign for the rolling clock from the official. And now here comes the snap. Snap is high to number 3, and he's going to look to throw it. He will throw it across and bat it down by number
Defense
24.
number 24.
And he got away with one a little bit there. He was there a little bit on the back, but no flag on the play, so that's going to bring up second down now for the Pitbulls.
Second down, 13-yard line.
5 minutes and change. You mentioned the rolling clock, so it does shorten up the game considerably. The clock does not stop on an incomplete pass until the end of the half, end of the ball game.
Yeah,
So it
incomplete
will
pass
continue to run.
was responsible, or Morgan McCrary was responsible for that incomplete pass. That's his second of the game. 5:12 to play here before halftime. So is this more of a considerably low-scoring game?
It's a pretty low-scoring game, yeah. I mean, neither one of these teams, because this is a non-league game, they don't want to bring out all the tricks. As I mentioned earlier, is Pitbulls now a lateral out to the quarterback on the outside. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, pick up a couple more. So it'll bring up 3rd down and long now for Pitbulls. I'm guessing the offensive coordinators on both sides of the ball not wanting to display their hands too much this early in the ball game.
4:36.
Great game to get, finally get the opportunity to get out there here in college, at the NFL. During training camp, teams will scrimmage against, other teams, that kind of stuff. A lot of that just has to do with the fact that, having been in two-a-day camps for a lot of years, you get sick of hitting the same guys in the same color jersey. And, you just got to get out there. You want to actually go full speed. You don't want to worry as much about having somebody getting hurt, and especially in the indoor game, as the Pitbulls once again throw this one wide open in the end zone. Didn't get a foot down, but I think they are going to, if he catches that, it's a touchdown, and they are going to give it to him. But an opportunity for both of these teams to get out there, hit somebody in another colored jersey, try a few things out. But you don't want to get too crazy displaying everything you got in the offensive firepower, because at the end of the day, this game ain't going to count in the standings for anybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're probably most likely not going to bring out their kicker because they
may not have even brought him from Texas, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, though.
There were games in the old incarnation of the Outlaws where, when we would travel with the team, you're there early with not a lot to do before the ball game sometimes, and there were a couple of times if we were struggling in the kicking game where I'd be out there just screwing around, and if Mike Barnell was in town, he'd come over and say, hey, maybe I ought to get you out of the booth and get you down there and kick a little bit.
Yeah, so now scrambling, he's going to throw it. It looks to be, almost picked off. But number 11 for the Pitbulls knocked it out of the Outlaws' hands.
Dangerous pass there as he just kind of threw that one into traffic. It's one of those, that's what happens when you let your running back play a lot of quarterback, and that's kind of what the Pitbulls are doing. Trying something out. I'm not aware of anything that happened to their starting quarterback this evening, so as far as I know, he's healthy. And in fact was out there on the field. Now he's coming off the sidelines, but he appears to be fine on the sidelines, so maybe they've just seen what they need to see from him, and they want to find out whether or not they've got themselves an emergency quarterback or not. For the Outlaws in their previous incarnation, our backup quarterback for a lot of years was either Robert Reed originally, and then Robert Red. The difference being Dixon and Reed are both right-handed. Robert Red's a lefty. And so thankfully we never had to bring him out, but it does change the dynamic of your protections. The ball spins the opposite way. Lots of things that change. So it is important to find out. You don't ever want to use your emergency quarterback, but you do want to, at least in a game like this, have an opportunity to get him out there and say, well, okay, if we get pushed into that position, exactly how much trouble are we in?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have like a deep team, and you gotta have the team with the depth in it.
And that's the problem with the indoor game. You can only suit 21, and so there is no too deep. I mean, when I said at the top of the broadcast, your offensive tackle is your backup nose guard, and vice versa, and those kinds of things. And so it's great to have guys with that NFL pedigree, but those guys with that NFL pedigree in all likelihood have been playing one position for a long time.
Yep, so they're going to call this one down and probably place it 22 here in the Pitbull territory. As the kick was a squib, but took a kind of a weird bounce. It bounced to the right side. So Outlaws will take this one over with good field position. Winding down minutes here at the end of the first half.
So this is where clock management gets a little bit different, because you've got 3 minutes to go, but with that running clock, you can run it. Both teams have 3 timeouts at their disposal if they want them. Now, given the fact that this is a non-league game, it's the first half rather than the second half, we'll see.
Yep, here it is. Shotgun formation, hands it off to, not hands it off, he's going to throw this one to his right. This is number 8 in the quarterback position.
Benson doing a nice job getting that one out. Almost a first down, as it'll bring up second down and very short for the Outlaws as they'll come back to work here inside the 15. They can get another first down. Actually could get 2. They'd have to get the second one at about the 1.5-yard line. So we'll see whether or not they can pull that off. The clock will continue to run.
Yep, here it is, shotgun formation. Number 8, Benson's going to take it himself and get brought down around the 5-4-yard line. He saw no chance of getting the ball out to a receiver and took it to the left and gained a good 10, 15 yards.
And the Outlaws sitting on a 1-point lead here as we tick under 2 minutes to go. Not in any super big hurry. As I mentioned, you know, because you're in scoring position, everybody can get to the end zone. So you kind of want to run this down. They can't get another first down, but they don't necessarily care if they score right away here.
Yeah,
However,
they will. And this one off to number 22. Shannon Warren jumps over and does like a somersault over Pitbulls, and now Outlaws with a 7-point lead. The 1:39 to play here in the first half.
The extra point brought to you by Guadalajara, RA Contracting,
Floors by into the end zone here as we tick under a 1.5 to go here in the first half of play. They will once again
all of your corporate sponsors in the Outlaw Nation.
Finding the extra point.
Number 83, the holder, that's going to be Nate Simpkins. The 1:10 winding down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. 4 for 4.
The leg man does it again. 106 left in the first half of play. Daly scores. And on the Mooyah scoreboard, Pitbulls 20, Billings Outlaws 20.
Here very shortly, and Anderson, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Outlaws have done a great job of getting in or just running up and down the field. I mean, they've just had great plays. I mean, so I guess I can say that.
You're right. So we'll adjust the volume on that just a little bit. Just make sure we're good to go. I think we're about good there. So.
Yeah, so what have you seen in this game so far? I mean, Outlaws have just been doing really good. I mean, the Pitbulls are just kind of running dry. They're doing the same play over again.
Yeah, the Outlaws, they've been bringing it pretty good, you know, with the stops along the field. And now they're trying to bring this and see if they can make a stop the last 1:03 seconds ago before halftime.
Yep, so now it's, let's see, the Dallas Pitbulls. They're going to be brought down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Outlaw players. Return is going to be by number 9 for the Pitbulls.
Media.
The Pitbulls got under 1 minute to go here before halftime. The ball's about the half, just before midfield there. And one thing that the Pitbulls have been doing pretty good is trying to move the ball, but they've been stopped. And it's kind of like those key plays. We were just looking at the fumble recoveries that were all happening, and that is something that's happened for both teams, and that's why we've got the score of 28-20 right now with the Outlaws up. Here with under 1 minute to go before halftime.
Pediatric Dentistry, Profile, Kiss of Color, F45, and Reach, Selfie,
And see if they
Lady,
can make it a maybe
Outlaw.
tie or 1-point game.
One thing the Pitbulls been doing in the shotgun formation, and with the two kind of, what do you call that, around the back? You remember during the volleyball season? Kind of coming around the back, but they've got a trailer. That's the interesting thing about the indoor. And it's been pretty successful for them, for the Pitbulls. Let's see if they can capitalize on it here with under 1 minute to go here.
Well, let's see. I mean, the Outlaws, they just really have to throw. If they can throw the Pitbulls defense off and just make them, I guess, out of their comfort zone or just out of their zone in general, then it'll be an easy score. And then they get unorganized, and then we'll see how this works out here with 56 seconds left to play.
And we'll see whether or not the timeouts come into play or not, because obviously the Pitbulls do have multiple timeouts to work with. This one is snapped, however, he does get the ball away, remarkably enough. Was able to
And they're going to gain some yardage.
And they'll pick up about 8 on the play, so a complete dumpster fire on the play after the snap, but able to make something out of nothing there, as the Pitbulls will
second down.
They will take a timeout and stop the clock here. They don't necessarily care about the timeout, but they do want to stop the clock briefly. So 48 seconds to go here, and this is where it does get a little bit more interesting. And I think you're right, Anderson. They're going to want to try and get into the end zone, but again, you don't want to leave any time on the clock if you can avoid it. And so
if you just run it for right now.
Well, they may very well do that. You can still pick up another first down. So they've got a number of options here, but not a ton in terms of real estate.
Yep, so number 3 back in the pocket, makes a shot for the end zone. It's going to be intercepted by your Outlaws.
That's what you absolutely did not want to do. Tried to throw that one as a back corner, threw it unfortunately right to the black and blue. A nice job coming down with that one. You're not going to find very many easier interceptions than that. He turned around the ball, hit him right between the 1 and the 6 on his jersey. He pulls that one in. So now you've got a position, since the ball was intercepted in the end zone, comes out to the 5. 45 yards from pay dirt, 43 seconds to go, but the Outlaws have all 3 of their timeouts to work with. And so that's where the end of halves, end of ball games can get to be kind of interesting. You suddenly realize, well, okay, right now we're looking at the Pitbulls going in, potentially be down by 1, or if they get the 2-point conversion, tie the ball game going into halftime. As it is now, all of a sudden you've given the Outlaws the football back. They get the ball to start the second half. Could be a big swing.
Yep, now here it is, number 8, and he's going to roll out to his left, and he's going to throw to number, I believe that's 86. He's going to take it all around or the left side of the field.
Completed.
No, it's 83 with the catch and the carry.
Simpkin.
It's probably good.
So Simpkin on the catch. We got to check on the penalty here. I believe.
Illegal defense. Number 5.
Defense jumped.
That penalty has been declined. Results of the play, first down.
They're going to decline that.
Penalty
so
brought
they will
to you
take
by
the yardage.
Sean
So that's going to
O'Daniel,
give the
State
Outlaws
Bar
the ball
at the
in,
22-yard line, first
down. They did not
down.
have to burn a timeout, as we had to check on the penalty, and then they had to make a decision. So the clock will start as soon as they set it. But with all 3 of those timeouts, the Outlaws really not very concerned at all about the clock at present.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, that was the exact opposite way you wanted to do if you're the Pitbulls. And now thrown across the middle, tripped up by number 5. Number 21 for the Outlaws. Count that one near the probably 12-yard line and got
8 down inside.
He probably caught it around the 10. Yeah, probably.
So it's going to be first and goal for the Outlaws at about the 8-yard line. 23 seconds and counting.
Yep, so now let's see. The handoff is going to go to number 22. He's going to take it right side and try to get into the end zone. Oh, but a fumble.
He was down, though.
Ball is down at the 1-yard line.
Down.
Yep.
12 seconds.
And that's about perfect for the Outlaws, as they will take their first timeout. So 12 seconds to go, second and goal from about the 1-yard line. So the Outlaws figuring, all right, we got the big back in the backfield. We can get in. And so they'll probably take one shot right up
Billings. They're first of the half.
See if they can punch it in.
And see if they can punch it in. You've got plenty of time. If you don't get in, or if you have a penalty, whatever the case may be, you've got those 2 timeouts in your pocket, so you know you can stop the clock, decide
Second
what you want to do. Probably
at the 2-yard line.
The ruling,
even if you get
the previous ruling that the ball was down by contact has been challenged by Texas.
That timeout to get your field goal kicker out there if you want to do that, or you can take a shot at the end zone here. You got 3 downs to work with because it's only second down. So if you want to use all of them, 12 seconds is enough time from where they are on the field to get 3 plays off, because you can use those timeouts. But it's close, so you better make sure so everybody on that field understands as soon as they blow the play dead, you don't get in, stop it.
Outlaw.
And we'll regroup, live to fight another day, 1 minute later. But we'll see what the Outlaw strategy here. Not in any particular hurry at all. They're going to, near halftime here, take every available moment.
Yeah, the Outlaws, I mean, what are they sitting at? The 2-yard line?
Yeah, they're safe. Yeah, the ball spotted right at the 2 on the right hash mark. The hash mark's only about 6 feet apart on this indoor field. Obviously, the shorter field also more narrow, only 25 yards wide as opposed to 50 in the outdoor game. So there are some differences there, and then the narrow hash marks on the The exterior of the hash marks is the exterior of the goalpost, and so then they come in 18 inches from there. So not a whole lot of room in there, and then there is a difference. There is a wide side and a short side of the field, but not the drastic difference that there is in the outdoor game.
Yep, so we got 12 seconds, and they're talking this one over. Outlaws in the huddle, as well as number 8 now, Benson, coming into the huddle, getting direction from the old head
The ruling
coach.
on the field stands.
As
Second down.
It was also under review, which I didn't know
They were reviewing the fumble, it looks like.
Okay.
It sounds like, so. But it does remain outlaw football, so it'll be second down and goal to go from the 2. As Benson will be out there out of the shotgun, as they have been most of the night. Single back off his left hip.
Yep, and 2 men in the backfield in motion. Here comes the snap, and here comes the handoff straight to the middle, and they're going to try to push him in, but he does not get there.
Outlaws stopped at the 1 yard line.
Nice job by Benson. As soon as they blew the whistle on that one, he turns around, finds himself an official, calls
Billings.
the timeout. So
They're
6 seconds to go. So we started at 12. That gets you to 6. Third down now. You got 1 timeout to play with still. So can you get another play off? And if you don't get in, still get the timeout. It looks like that's what the Outlaws are going to try and do.
Third down.
And frankly, I mean, a game that doesn't, at the end of the day, matter all that much in the standings, and you're already sitting on a 1-score lead, plus you get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world if you don't get in, but the Outlaws certainly would love to turn that interception towards the end of the first half here into points. And he's going to get in.
Yeah, here goes
Benson with the touchdown, number 8.
He had time. 2 seconds left. He had time.
2 seconds, yeah.
Benson.
I mean, Outlaws just took it right.
Touchdown
Quarterback
brought to
keeper
you by
right
the
on the right side.
Fireplace Center.
The Pitbulls just didn't have enough time to react.
So 34 pending the extra point. Outlaws with a 14-point lead right now. The Pitbulls, of course, went for the 2-point conversion the last time and didn't get it. So it was 14-14. Pitbulls did score 20, and then they had the extra point pending, but they do not appear to have brought a kicker. They've run a couple of big bodies out there to handle the kicking duties for kickoffs, but hasn't been super successful. We'll see whether or not they try option 3 as this kick is up, and Daly's still perfect on the night.
The late
so
man.
not the struggles that have sometimes existed here in Billings in the kicking game, as the Outlaws doing a nice job converting those. 2 seconds to go.
Pitbulls
I would certainly
20.
anticipate
Billings
that
Outlaws
we are going to get a quick kick here to kill the
35.
clock, and if they don't return it all the way back, we'll take this opportunity to thank all of our sponsors. Billings Clinic, Just One War Bar and Casino, your Jersey sponsor. Jersey Mike's for the player of the game. Your Kiss of Color sponsoring the dance team. Shields sponsoring the kids camp. Bullwhackers, the timeout sponsor. Kirkness Roofing, Premier Surface Solutions, Granite of Montana. Moto Mortgage, CQ Fire and Safety, A-Team Contracting, Fireplace Center of Billings, Era American Real Estate, and Jacobs Contracting. Jacobs Contracting, our field sponsor for this 2022 season. So the Outlaws lining up one more time as kickoffs sponsored by Fireplace Center of Billings. We ultimately have had quite a few of those. You asked me partway through the second quarter there at 21-20 or 21-14 whether or not this was kind of a low-scoring game, and I indicated at the time, yeah, for now. We'll see what happens, and here we are less than half a quarter later, and 35-20 is your score. So you can put points up in a hurry, and with that interception turned into points there to end the half, you do see the importance of field position and utilizing it, and Coach Schmidt, certainly a disciple of those. As this one's fielded at 15, it will be the last play of half. This is going to get out to about the 15, the 25, down to the 20, but that's it. So 35-20 will be your halftime score, as the Outlaws putting some points up there at the end of the first half of play. It was a pretty evenly matched first half, really, all in all, but that turnover very, very costly for the visiting Pitbulls there at the end of half number 1.
Yeah, I mean, the Pitbulls just, they really didn't I mean, they had 2 interceptions. They had a fumble on the not in the first quarter. They had 1 interception, 1 fumble in the first quarter, and then an interception in the second quarter. I mean, the Outlaws, they only had 1 fumble, I believe, and that was their only key turnover.
Yeah, they had the 1 turnover that McCullum made the tackle on going down the sideline, and then the Pitbulls able to convert that into points on the big run to follow. But the Pitbulls, I understand playing it close to the vest in the first game of the year, not wanting to pull out all the tricks that you maybe have in your bag. But I'll tell you what,
passion for people, growing the community through real estate. Contact Hannah today. Forever, Hannah.
Run to the right,
and
run
now,
to the teams in the
ladies and
wrong
gentlemen,
throw the ball
here they
to the
are,
teams that are wrong
Montana's All-American Girls, your Billings Lady Outlaws.
So we'll see if they can get something going in the second half. That's a neat trick. They just scored 6 points.
What's up, Billings? My name is Michael from 103.7 The Hawk, Johnny V from Cat Country 102.9. Excited for the 2022 Billings Outlaws indoor football team. With Town Square Media, of course, and you know your Billings Outlaws mean business this year. Ready to show you a hardworking, dedicated team. There is a merch table right up there, so if you need to get a hoodie or a sweatshirt or a hat, they got you covered. Make sure you are prepared for the first regular home season game coming up April 10th against the Salina Liberty. We're going to play a little game here in 1 second. We've got 2 groups of contestants from the stands.
When the opportunities presented itself.
Amon Rudd's RV, a long-standing RV dealership located in Sidney, Montana. They offer an extensive line of used RVs, perfect for your next family adventure. Contact them today for your Montana transportation lifestyle. 406-433-2226.
They're only at 5 in the possessions.
All right, this is the Blaze and Grays, sponsored by Blaze Pizza. Each team is going to start down here in the end zone. They're going to make their way around the dancers while balancing the pizza box like this. You can't tuck it under your arm. You can't hold it with your hand. You got to just balance it like that. They're going to weave all the way down, turn around, weave all the way back. Just so you know, contestants, the Lady Outlaws may distract you a little bit, so plan accordingly. It's a relay race, so Dad, Mom are going to go first. Kids are going to go next.
Let's find out who our contestants are. What's your name?
Chantel Hale.
And your name?
Delilah Hale.
Okay. And on this side?
Chris. Chris, very good. What's your name?
Lucia.
All right, are you ready? Okay. Blaze Pizza Challenge. Make sure to download the Blaze app and you can start winning free fire perks. Contestants, are you ready? Contestant, she is so ready. All right, you guys want to count them down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa.
Oh, dropped it. Pick it up.
Whoa.
Up. There we go. One hand. Only use one hand. Keep going.
Blazing through the obstacle course. Just about time for the handoff.
Right,
and
there you go. One
Take
hand.
off.
One hand.
One hand.
Good job. Nine-round kickbox fitness, no set class times, workout on your time. Full body workouts in just 30 minutes on the west end at 24th and Grand or Wicks Lane in the Heights. Nine-round fitness. Oh!
Whoa, photo finish.
I say they both get 2 Blaze Pizza gift certificates. We got a tie on the first night here at the Outlaws game. Let's hear it for both of our contestants here tonight.
From your neighborhood bar and tavern in Billings to the iconic Strat Hotel, Casino, and Sky Pod on the Las Vegas Strip, Golden Entertainment is your premier gaming and hospitality provider with 9 casino resorts in Nevada and Maryland and route operations in both Montana and Nevada. Golden Entertainment offers unmatched destinations, service, equipment, and support. You can visit goldenent.com today to learn more.
Little bit of everything kind of in the
And the Lady Outlaws would like to thank their Sparkle sponsor, Wayne Wilcox of Century 21. His charisma and expertise makes Wayne your perfect real estate agent. Creative, hardworking, and ready to serve you. Call Wayne today, 697-9800.
All right, Hannah Reno of Keller Williams Yellowstone Properties is your premier real estate agent and the title sponsor of the Billings Lady Outlaws. Hannah is an enthusiastic member of the community, a passion for people and growing the community through real estate. You can contact Hannah today to find out how your first or forever home, she can help you out. hreno.kw.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here they are, Montana's All-American girls, your Billings Lady Outlaws.
And then McCullum fights him in the corner of the end zone for 6 as well. So, you know, you've seen some of the firepower that they have, and, you know, it'll be interesting to see as the season progresses whether or not the Outlaws are able to mix and match those and kind of figure out what does this defense maybe do a little bit better that we might be able to exploit the other parts of our game. And I think that's probably one of the things that Coach Schmidt wants to see tonight is he knows what he's seen in practice. And he knows how his guys play against his defense. And that's fine. But it doesn't actually tell you a whole lot about what they're going to do on game day. And, you know, you got to be able to make tackles. You got to be able to catch the football when the lights are brightest. And that's one of the things I'm sure he's wanting to find out tonight. And we've seen, frankly, the Pitbulls have struggled with that. They've had some opportunities in the end zone tonight to convert into points or to convert 2-point conversions after touchdowns that they haven't, you know, the plays have been there. They just haven't quite been able to run it all the way through to fruition. And the result of that, they're looking at a 14-point deficit here going to the second half.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been watching the Outlaws wide receivers. I mean, they'll start from the back like they usually do, and then they will just their route running is just, I mean, I've seen a couple of times where the Outlaws have been open. It's just, it was already handed off, or, but the Outlaws just, they route run, they get away from the defender, and they're open, and if it's there, it's there. And that's why we have a 15. Is it 15 or 14? I don't even know anymore.
I believe it's 35-20. It should be 30. It would have been 35-21, but the Pitbulls haven't scored.
Yeah, 35-20.
And it does actually throw you for a little bit of a loop when you're looking up at your scoreboard and think, well, I'm not sure there's anything up there that's right. But I know nobody's got 100 points. That much I'm sure of. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're not to 100 combined. They probably will be by the end of the night, but they're not there yet, I don't think. But 35-20.
Hey guys, don't forget the cheer camp coming up on April 16th. You can go to their merchandise booth and get a flyer to sign up online. If you've got a little one that wants to be a part of the Lady Outlaws cheer camp, your chance to see them on the field with the Lady Outlaws this year. It's also a breast cancer awareness night, so make sure you wear pink. That is April 16th.
Here's the 4 down.
The 2022 Billings Lady Outlaws would love to thank all their sponsors: Marzi's Auto Body, Armosa, Sean O'Daniel's State Farm Insurance, Rimrock Pediatric Dentistry, Profile, Kiss of Color, F45, and Reach Selfie.
And thank you to Coach Tina of the Lady Outlaws. Great job tonight. If you guys like dogs, you're going to love this. Stick around. Your Outlaws will be back shortly.
But, you know, hey, the clock is running, so we got that going for us. As we tick down under 10 minutes to go here in halftime, another game out there on the field. So, as we mentioned earlier, the Outlaws doing what they do in the indoor game so very well and getting the crowd involved and excited about the game. A nice turnout here for this Thursday night home opener for the Outlaws. I know they were very excited about advanced ticket sales, and certainly does appear that the crowd has shown up, especially around that lower bowl. Boy, I tell you, there's not a lot of empty seats down there in the VIP suites for sure. The Metra, one of the bigger arenas in the league, and so certainly some seats available in the upper bowl, but down around the boards, those seats are pretty much all filled up. But no, it's a different game. There's a lot of similarities, but it's much quicker. And at the NFL level, at the college level, you hear guys, even at the high school level, talking about after your second year, your third year as a starter, the game kind of slows down for you a little bit. And I think that's even more the case, here. Obviously, you get lots of guys that have come in that have, played a lot of football and maybe even played a lot of quarterback. But it changes the dynamic significantly when you've got not just one, but two men in motion. You've got a smaller field. The defense doesn't have as far to go to get to you. You don't have as much room to run around and get away. And, it's always in the back of your head as a quarterback that, as you're dropping back, even if you're running, what seems like out of the back of your own end zone, if you can find a way to set your feet, you can still score from there.
Yeah. I mean, I just like the ring. So when is it a touchdown? Like, can you land 2 feet, jump over the thing?
If you would have come down inbounds, so it's a judgment call on the part of the officials. So if you go up and you're inbounds when you catch it, and except for being pushed out of bounds, pushed over the boards, you have to hold on to it. And so that's always a little bit dicey because guys go down behind the boards. The officials can't see them. The opposing player always tells you he dropped it. The guy who's catching the ball always tells you he didn't, as long as the ball is close enough that he can pick it up before the refs get there. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But the rule is that if you would have come down in bounds and you hold on to it when you go over the boards, it's a catch. But like I say, a lot of discretion there granted to the officials, and they're certainly for Outlaw fans that are out there listening. I'm sure they have heard me rail ad nauseum about the officiating in Sioux Falls. That you were always playing 9-on-8 in Sioux Falls because you were playing the 8 guys on the field, and you were always playing the Zebras.
Yeah,
and that's it is what it is. You know that going in, it's not a shock. You know that you've got to beat an extra guy out there. It's just that the extra guy's out there in multiple different places at any given time. He's got the red flags in his pocket, and he's wearing the black and white stripes.
Yeah, wait, so can you play it like if you're, say, going for a field goal, and if it hits the uprights, can you play it off of that?
If it comes back in the field of play, it's a live ball. Yep.
So practically, if you miss it, you could return it. Would it?
You absolutely can. Yep.
Your own team.
Yeah, or if you come up short. I mean, if you try and kick a field goal, say from your own 3-yard line, so the ball's spotted at 3, you're kicking it out of the back of the end zone. You can't come in from off the field of play. And so your kicker's always in a tough spot if you're in a position like that. It doesn't come up real often. And the other thing you can do is you can effectively use that as a punt because you can kick it and the ball's live if it comes down the field of play. So you can tell your kicker, like, I don't care if you make it, just don't kick it over the back of the boards. And as long as it comes down in the field of play, they've got to bring it out. And so, yeah, it's a missed field goal, kind of. But it can be very effective if you're stuck deep in your own end zone. Maybe you make it. If you do, great.
Yeah.
If not, make sure that you got the guys out there that can run that down and make the tackle. And if you can make the tackle in the end zone, so if the ball rattles around down there a little bit and you can tackle them in the end zone, you don't get 3, but you get 1 and you get the ball back.
So, I mean, could you possibly just kick it probably 10 yards and have your own person recover it?
No, it's not live until, well, yes, you can, but it's not live until the other team touches it. There's no 10-yard rule like there is in the same way. That part of it is different. But yeah, no, I mean, there certainly are some idiosyncrasies like that, and that's where coaching really does matter because guys are coming in generally with a good understanding, but not necessarily the idiosyncrasies of the rules changes and those kinds of things. You can have onside kicks, but like I say, it does matter if the ball is spotted. Now that said, if you're kicking off from your own end zone and they're anticipating that you might have an onside kick, they're going to turn and run towards the end zone. And so if you can kick it and bounce it off the back of somebody, that ball's live and you can pick it up. The championship game in 2009, Coach O actually did that and had Walton in, who didn't usually come in on on kickoff coverage, but he was on the left sideline across from us, sort of by that ABC6 sign over there, and kind of very quietly lined up over there. And the Nate Parsegian came up and kicked it across the formation, and it bounced off of one of the River City players, and he picked it up. And so they had lost the flip, so they didn't get the extra possession to start the second half. And Coach O figured out a way to get the extra possession anyway. And that's why when I was talking about as we headed down the stretch of the first half there, that's why that interception is so huge. The interception always hurts you. Points off turnovers always hurt you. But because of the fact that the Outlaws didn't take the opening kick, they effectively score, get the ball back, score to end the half, and then get the ball back again. And so you could very conceivably, in a very short amount of clock time, in fact, have 3 scores on the basis pretty much of a strategic decision to defer your kick to the second half, and then one great play to have the interception in the end zone, stops the drive, you get the ball back with enough time to go down the field. You haven't burned those timeouts, and that allows them to do at the end of the first half there what they did, where you can run the ball, run out the clock, but you can also, use those timeouts carefully, and it allows you the opportunity then to burn that clock down, and you have complete control over exactly when that goes to 0. And they didn't use quite all 4 downs, but there were 2 seconds left.
Well, yeah.
They could have.
So how many timeouts do you get a game? 6?
6. Yeah,
Okay.
you get 3 per half.
Okay. Well,
they don't carry over, though. So if you don't use them in the first half, because like the Pitbulls did not use all of their timeouts in the first half. So they can't just hold those in their pocket and then have, 6 of them. Now, I've always thought it would be kind of cool if you could carry them over and say, okay, so I know I'm probably going to win next week pretty easily, so I'm not going to need them then. So maybe I can I hold on to these to like the championship game and I can have like 11?
Just call out a timeout every other possession.
Well, you could, you could really control the clock if you were doing it that way, I guess. But
just transfer over seasons.
That might be a little much even for me. But
yeah, we got 2 minutes and 22 seconds. A couple of 2s there until the third quarter of play.
We'll take this opportunity once again to thank all of our sponsors: Jacobs Contracting, Era American Real Estate, or ERA American Real Estate, Fireplace Center of Billings, A-Team Contracting, Moto Mortgage, CQ Fire and Safety, Lithia Dodge, Fireplace Center of Billings again, Billings Clinic, Just One More Bar and Casino, Jersey Mike's, Kiss 'em Colors, Shields, Bullwhackers, Kirkness Roofing, Premier Surface Solutions, and Granite of Montana. And the nice young lady behind us who, I'll tell you what, she was enjoying the national anthem to start this one.
She was.
She is getting into YMCA right now. So a good time to be had by all out here at First Interstate Bank Arena at Metro Park tonight, as the Outlaws on their way to a successful start to the 2022 campaign and the newest incarnation of indoor football here in Billings, Montana. New team, new ownership, new league, new players, no carryover. There was some carryover when the Wolves came back in, let me think about this here, 2013, 14, I think. No, it was longer than that, 15 or 16. But when they came back, there was some carryover. Walton played, Turner played. There were some guys that on that team that had been part of those championship teams with the Outlaws in 2009, 2010, and they were back at this point with the 12-year break. Those guys in the same boat I am. I'm still sitting up here doing what I was doing, but I don't have any delusions about getting out there on the field anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, I never knew that indoor football was a thing, probably until 2 years ago.
Yep.
But I mean, it's football, but it's not football.
The best way that I have heard it described, I think, is it's basically hockey on a football field. That there's boards. It's a smaller rink. It's still on turf. It's still an oblong ball. And you've still got a quarterback, wide receivers and linemen and tackles and first downs and some of those kinds of things.
Are brought to you by ERA American Real Estate. ERA American Real Estate. bringing you the kickoffs and extra point. One of the Outlaws sponsors.
Shutouts in the indoor game. That's, it's not the way the game is set up. So it's a very fan-friendly game in that regard, because it's a lot of, a lot more scoring, a lot more interaction, and like I say, similar to baseball, that if the ball goes into the stands, you can take it home with you. And after the game, typically the players will stay on the field. So if you're a youngster and you come out and you're lucky enough to get a football, almost certainly you can get out there after the game. You got yourself the souvenir football and a Sharpie, you can get signatures from everybody that's in uniform that night. And they will be out there interacting with the fans after the game, I would imagine. And that's also a really neat thing to do. Lots of good things in the community that are done by the Outlaw organization always. So it will be exciting to have them back for this late spring and early summer, and certainly
corporate sponsors tonight: Jim and Tracy, alignment and auto sales.
So
Moto,
they're certainly
Morgan.
expecting to be
How about
successful
Cajun
from the
Patties?
And
Brothers
expectations
Billiard.
are high.
So
when
much
the
more.
Previous incarnation of the
Thank
Outlaws,
you, corporate sponsors.
they won an IFL
Outlaw
championship in
Nation.
2006, and they won
This
UIL
kickoff brought to you
IFL
by
championships
ERA,
2009,
American Real Estate.
and won it again in Sioux Falls in 2011. So lots of success in the indoor game here in Billings.
Yep, as the kickoff, starting the second half, will go.
Forget after the ball game, shooter.
No, it goes up against the board.
The ball will be placed on the 17-yard line. First down.
Shooter.
Okay. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Outlaws. As I mentioned, they do get the opening kickoff to start the second half.
So to speak, Outlaws do good. Like, how does playoffs look like? Is it kind of the same?
Well, they would be. If they were to win all their games, they'd be
18-yard line.
So we'll see how that ultimately shakes itself out. They're playing in a new league, so they're playing the CIF. They've got road games in Gillette. They've got. I don't think they have a road game at Rapid City. They play Rapid City here.
Okay.
Selena will be here with Coach
Passes
O'Neill.
incomplete. Sets up a second
for the
down.
Outlaws. Coach O'Neill will be back with his defending champion Selena team, I think next week for the first time, and I believe they will be here twice, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look at the schedule to be sure, but and then a couple of games in Kansas on the road, and I believe also in Omaha. So some travel for sure.
Yep, so now Outlaws throw it across the middle, over to number 21, caught and dragged down by number
Benson
1 for
to Crenshaw.
The
sets up a 3rd down at the 20.
Officials timeout.
Mascot again?
Pitbulls.
Pitbulls, there you go. We gotta say that they got the score clock up and running again.
They do. They got that figured out.
35-20, but they don't got the names up there. It's just home again. Throwing me off. I was just about to say guess. But yeah, the Pitbulls brought him down.
Security
Good
Bank.
5-yard game.
Outlaw Nation, thank you for supporting the Outlaws.
Third long 5 for the Outlaws here, almost to midfield. They need to get to about the 22 of the Pitbulls to get a first down. First down's brought to you all season long by the A-Team Contracting, so we'll see whether or not they're able to. Third down's brought to you by Moto Mortgage out there on the West End. You'll see my good friend Kaylee Stedman out there and see what she can do for you under the loan. Kaylee, I know I need to come see you. I know, I'm sorry. I've just been really busy. I haven't made it out there. But I will be out to see you, I promise, if not tomorrow, next week.
Have a birthday in the crowd tonight. Somebody is turning 13. Oh my. Haley Thompson, happy birthday from the Billings.
The Outlaws lead over
Outlaws
by 15 here at half. It's not currently at halftime, but it was that score. Outlaws with the ball here on the 23-yard line.
And Kevin McDonald coming off the field here as he's being helped off. Looks like he's got a bad wheel. So probably the end of his evening here tonight. We'll have to check on that and see if we can get you an update on the injury there. But the Outlaws, a little bit of a heavy personnel package tonight. There will be cuts before the regular season starts next week.
Yep, men in motion, and now brought over to Outlaws right side. Roll up and get a couple. It's going to be a first down for the Outlaws for sure. Good 13-yard run for the Outlaws.
First down.
Timeout.
And they're going to do a referee timeout as Pitbull player being helped.
So the
off
injury's
here.
starting to mount a little bit here. One of the things that I think you forget when you're playing here in Billings, obviously those of us that live here, you don't think of this as being at altitude, because this is just, you know, we're obviously Metro Park where it's located here in Billings. Everything goes up from here. Whether it's the Rim or South Hills or whatever, obviously heading up towards Red Lodge, the mountains, you can see them all around, and we're in the bottom of the valley, right? The thing is, the bottom of the valley is at 3,200 feet, and so teams that are coming from other places in the country are almost always at a disadvantage in that regard, because if you're playing in Billings, you're used to playing at 3,300 feet, and you know, by the end of a game, that can sometimes factor in. As a nice job here, the Outlaws all the way into the end zone once again. So that first possession of the second half, paying out. Nope, they're going to mark him down at about the half-yard line. So it'll be first and goal from the Outlaws inside the 1. But that often does factor in, I think. Steve always used to give me a hard time about that. By saying, well, not at altitude. What are you talking about?
I'm just confused how that factors in.
Well, it factors in because as you get further on in the ball game, your oxygen levels get lower. If you're used to being at sea level, you don't think of it, and because you don't, you know, you're not thinking, oh well, I'm going up on the mountain. Mountains are not in town, right? But you are at, you know, a little better than 3,000 feet here, and it does make a difference. I can tell you, as you get older, if you learn to start playing golf, it makes a big difference when you're playing. I've played a lot of golf on the West Coast, and I'll tell you what, at sea level with heavy air, I can't hit a golf ball very far.
Number 22, Shannon Ward.
Dry air out at Prior Creek, and see if that thing runs down the fairway for me for a while.
American Real Estate.
Hiked this one, and they give it to number 22, I believe, that ran that one in for the Outlaw touchdown. And the extra point is up and good.
ERA scores again with Luke Daly. ERA American Real Estate. 12-11 left in the third quarter of play.
Good start for the Montana State product.
20.
He is.
Billings
He keeps kicking like that. I'm going to start calling him Plum Bob, because I'm not sure he hasn't gotten anywhere near either one of the uprights thus far, but he has just booted it right down Broadway on all of those kicks, and he's gotten a lot of chance. His kicks all season long, brought to you by Fireplace Center of Billings. We haven't had any field goals, so I'm going to make an executive decision and change the extra points to Era American Real Estate, so they get a little bit of bang for their buck.
This kickoff brought to you by
had lots of kickoffs. Fireplace Center of Billings getting their money for it tonight, but
number 34,
American Real Estate not getting quite as much work out of.
Yeah, but now Luke Daly will kick this one off center a little bit to the right side, and the kick is up, and a squib. I guess it's not up. It's down, and squibbed and not picked up at number 9. Morales, Pitbulls, and here comes the stiff arm. It is going to be brought down by 3 or 4 Outlaw defenders. Brought him down near the 12, 11-yard line.
He got a great spot on that. He was ultimately taken down about the 8-yard line, but they're going to give him forward progress, which is right. But I'll tell you what, he wasn't out at 12 for very long, and he ran back on his own. But they are going to give him the forward progress, so it'll be all the way out at 12 when the Pitbulls offense comes back out to the line of scrimmage. And the reason that the altitude matters, a lot of these guys, I'm guessing, probably are cramping up, and the altitude does factor in there, because if you don't have enough oxygen in your bloodstream, that's when you start to cramp up. And so that's where the altitude comes in. A lot of even the Outlaw players, they've been here for a couple of weeks, so they've kind of gotten acclimated, but they haven't had this rigorous necessarily of a workout, and it's much more regulated. You know, if you start to cramp up in practice, well, okay, whatever, that's fine. You can sit one out. Can't necessarily do that in a ball game.
Yeah, especially for like the Montana State players that are used to it.
Right, that's and that makes a big difference. I mean, the Dylan Donahues of the world, the Luke Daly's of the world that have grown up here. This is just home. There's nothing out of the ordinary for them. Now that said, the other part of that is, in all likelihood, it works both ways. That they're not going to be as prone to getting tired later in ball games when they go down in altitude either. And so that's where I think sometimes for those late season road games, it can be a real advantage as well, because you're going down. I mean, the headwaters of the Mississippi.
Yeah, especially if you like
very far.
Playoffs.
Right. I mean, as you get towards playoffs, whether people are having to come up to you or you're going down to them, either way, it's going to work to your advantage that you are. I mean, there's a reason that the Olympic Training Center is in Colorado Springs. It'd be fine to have it in Pensacola. It's a prettier place to be, except for the Winter Olympics a lot of the time. But there's an advantage to training at altitude.
Yeah. Let's see, the Outlaws will take this one. No, it's going to be the Pitbulls, yeah. They're the Outlaws score and the low squib.
So the worst field position of the night for the Pitbulls is they'll start at their own 12, continue to go out of that shotgun.
Yep, and the Pitbulls will remain with the big quarterback, number 3. He'll hand this one off. Number 7, he's going to get tackled and brought down near the 20-yard line. It's going to probably be 8. No, it's going to be not 20. Oh, that's 15-yard line. Knocked down by the Outlaws. A couple of players.
It'll be second down and about 7 to go here for the Pitbulls. A little bit surprised that they're taking as much time as they are. They're not down a ton. They're down 3 scores. But lots of time left. But absolutely no sense of urgency whatsoever from that Pitbulls team. And to be perfectly honest, with the exception of the turnover, they haven't been able to stop this Outlaw offense. The Outlaws have done it on the ground. They've done it through the air, but they have done it. And you saw at the end of the half the opportunity, that the ability they have to score quickly.
Yep, now here it is, the quarterback keeper. He's going to be sacked and taken down. He got caught in the backfield. He was going to hand it off to number 7 and then took it himself and brought down.
So how nervous do you think you are? If you're the manager of a buffet and this bus stops on the way back to Texas, how nervous do you think the buffet manager is when these guys come in?
You're probably pretty nervous. I mean, you don't want them sitting there for a good long while, especially if you have 2 staff members.
I think they could probably do some damage to a buffet line. No question about that. Third down and long now for the Pitbulls. We'll see whether or not they can do some damage to this Outlaw defense. They've not been able to get very much going on the offensive side of the ball at all tonight. And what do we got going here? We got somebody out there with no helmet.
Yep, so now let's see, and it's going to be a high snap over number 3. Instead, he's going to try to pick it up, and it is going to be picked up by number 7. He's going to try to make this play something out of nothing when he's still on his feet and brought down by number 33 for the Outlaws.
I thought they were going to get safety there.
I thought they were too, but just Outlaws could not pick it up, and number 7 got to it first.
So I think what you've got right now is the player that was out there without the helmet is their starting quarterback, or their normal starting quarterback. He's out there essentially operating as the offensive coordinator right now. So this is not a league game. Normally that would not be allowed because he is in uniform. And so he's not out there with a helmet. He obviously can't play, but he's out there calling plays. So both teams treating this a little bit like a scrimmage that realistically it is. And so they're taking a look at, and I'm guessing probably during the regular season, he's out there doing his best Peyton Manning impression and calling his own plays. And so they're giving him the opportunity to try and run the backup quarterback through those plays now.
Yep, here it is in the backfield. Shotgun formation. Pass is over. I guess it's going to be overthrown a little bit out to the left. Led him just a little bit too far. And that is going to be a timeout.
So we've got the under 9-minute timeout. We'll have to keep it right here as we do not have spots to play. But we'll give you our update on our sponsors once again.
end of game party. Go see Michael Morgan and the Shooters, Outlaws, end of the game party.
Kiss of Color is the sponsor of the dance team. Jersey Mike's will sponsor our player of the game. We'll give that to you at the end of the ball game. That's going to be a tough one tonight because a lot of options for this Billings Outlaw team, and we've still got a lot of football left to be played. Fireplace Center of Billings, your kickoff and end zone sponsor. Lithia Dodge CQ Fire and Safety, your fourth down sponsor. Moto Mortgage, your sponsor on third down. The A-Team Contracting, your first down sponsor. ERA American Real Estate, the field goal sponsor, and Jacobs Contracting, your field sponsor here in the 2022 season. So the Outlaws will take the ball over on downs. First and 10 for the Outlaws. Still in there at quarterback is Jamaro Benson. So C.J. McCullough's night looks like probably done. Not a lot of questions about what his abilities are coming into this 2022 season. So don't need to really see a whole lot from him. Get him out there, knock the rust off before the regular season starts, and see what you got out of Benson as your backup quarterback. Likely will be on the roster, but they're going to have to find a spot for him to get some playing time that is not under center in all likelihood.
Yep, so now a 12-point lead for the Outlaws. I said a 22-point lead. And Common Core Math, now right here, number 8, Benson, trying to maneuver his way around. And he probably was there for a good 5 seconds, not going anywhere, just hiding behind the big man.
Does Common Core Math not teach addition and subtraction? Okay, all right.
It's not my strongest suit, let's just say. But
that's all right.
All right, so now Outlaws sitting at the, let's see, 10-7 yard line.
And we got a timeout on the field.
Yep, timeout with 8:17.
Trying to figure out exactly what the scoop is here. And it looks like they're trying to decide whether, no, they cannot get a first down. It's on the 7, genius. So you don't need the yard markers. What do you? Nope, they're going to say it's second down.
I'm confuzzled.
Yeah, I think the guys over there in black and white and blue are confuzzled too.
Yeah.
You don't need the yard markers, guys. You just need the down. Okay, there you go. Everybody out of the way. Okay. Now we got it figured out. Second down and goal to go at the 7.
Yep, here it comes. Man in motion, shotgun formation. Here comes the fake handoff. Benson will walk this one into the end zone. What a play, and it'll put them at a 28-point lead here in the third.
There was a whole lot of real estate, boy. I tell you what, he only needed 7 yards, but there was nobody in that hole. He was all by himself, sort of reminiscent of the holes Emmitt Smith used to run through behind that 92, 93, 94 Cowboys line, where you really could have driven a truck through there. Benson absolutely untouched into the end zone. So the Outlaws beginning to put some distance between themselves and the Pitbulls here. Busiest guy in the building, Luke Bailey, thus far tonight, is he has just been trotting back and forth. I'll tell you what, if he's keeping track of his steps, he's getting them in tonight.
Yeah, see if he can make it for 7 for 7, and it's up to the uprights, and that will be.
It's good.
It's good again. 7 for 7 with 7:19 to play in the third quarter. 29-point lead for your Outlaws.
Lone Star.
So the Outlaws putting some distance between themselves and the visitors, up 49-20. And I think you mentioned it a number of times here, Anderson, the importance of extra points. That in a game like this, all right, you could have missed a couple. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. But if games are tight at the end, having that kicking game does make a big difference. And kickers are fickle animals. And so having success early, I think, in the season, if you need him to make a 38, 39-yard field goal on those narrow goalposts as you move forward in the regular season, the fact that he has made them tonight, he won't be afraid of the narrow uprights anymore.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference because kickers will tell you, you're not even looking at the uprights. You know where they're supposed to be, and they ain't moving. So if the spot is where it's supposed to be, you swing your leg like you swing a golf club, and the ball should go where it's intended to go. it doesn't make any difference. But confidence is a huge issue because you pull your head and you pull the ball.
Yeah, I just think of it like, right, it's like, just like free throws.
Yep,
I mean,
same
if
thing.
you don't
should
make
be
your
able
free
to do it
throws.
blindfolded.
Yep. As the kick
Tackled
return
by number
is
24,
received and
Morgan
brought up
McRae.
probably to the, 16-17 yard line. And the Pitbulls will have another go and see if they can capitalize on a possession. But for right now, Outlaws taking this one single-handedly so far.
More than doubling up the visiting Pitbulls. It does make for a long bus ride home. I have been on both sides of that, and I can tell you, boy, a bus ride home from Sioux Falls is a lot shorter if you win.
Yeah.
No question about that. We were there for the Western Conference Championship game in 2008. And actually, I was talking about the narrow uprights a moment ago. A game where Steve got hit in the head with a ball that was kicked. He was sitting to the left of the outside of the upright. The ball hit him in the head, and they called it good. Even though, I mean, I can tell you, I was sitting a foot and a half from it. It didn't go through the uprights. But the ref said it did, so it counted. And they ended up kicking about a 36-yarder to beat us at the end of the ballgame as time expired.
Yep, so now for Pitbulls, they throw it across.
They caught one.
They did. Took him a couple of tries.
It took him 2.5 quarters.
Yep, just took him just a small second or a minute.
So here we are, 1st and 10 now for the Pitbulls as they're into Outlaw territory. Ball sitting at the 20-yard line. Pitbulls will come back to the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receivers to the left, single wide receiver to the right. Nope, they're going to go 4 wide. Empty backfield.
Yep, here they come. Pitbulls. And here they come. The hike is up, and number 3 in the backfield. It's got pressure, and it is going to be caught. It did look like
the quarterback's calling for a flag. He got one, but not where he was looking for it. He was looking over on the far sideline away from us, so his right-hand sideline. And there is a flag, but it was thrown by the linesman on the left side of the field. So I think it may, in fact, be against the offense for getting across the line of scrimmage early with man in motion.
Probably. That pass did look like it touched the ground, but I guess it's not going to matter.
I don't think it's going to matter. I think you're right. It looked to me like it did. They did call it a reception, so we'll see. But at the end of the day, I think it's not going to matter. They're actually going to call it they're going to call holding on the defense. I think they're going to call pass interference on the defense, so it wouldn't have made any difference.
Illegal defense on Billings, number 33.
And here
5
comes
yards from the previous spot. Stays 1st down.
Yeah, so it's going to stay 1st down.
So they did call
State Farm Insurance.
It was a 5-yard penalty, so it's going to be
Sets up a 1st down of the 15-yard line. Yep, Lone Star.
Back to the line of scrimmage, and the Pitbulls trying to be a little sneaky, keep somebody way back off the line of scrimmage. They put him in motion. He'll be at full speed when he gets to the line.
Yep, here's kind of the straight pass over to number 10, and he's going to be almost brought down. No, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Pass completed.
It's going to be
That
brought
dude was
down.
down there, Chief. There we go.
Yeah, got his knee down after he was tripped up.
So it'll be 2nd and short for the Pitbulls now as we tick under 5.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter of play.
I gotta say, I do like indoor football just way better in the winter.
First
Like, it
down
was in
on
the
the
winter.
11-yard line.
I gotta tell you, I've done
Lithia
some cold
Dodge
games. Me and my
Red
dad
Zone
went up to Red Lodge.
defense.
Coldest game I've ever done.
I bet.
It was probably -10, would you say? It was pretty cold.
Well, first game I ever did, this is going to be passing interference
Flag on the
defense
play.
again, I think,
Yeah.
inside the 5-yard
Wait
line.
for the
So
call.
That's going to be a fresh set of downs for the Pitbulls, I believe. It was 2nd down and very short, so in all likelihood they would have picked it up anyway. We'll see where they ultimately spot the football here. Yeah, the first game I ever did.
Number
I did a
18
game
on the
out in your neck of
defense.
the woods,
Half
I
the
did a
distance to the
Huntley
goal.
Bridger
Automatic 1st down.
when Bridger had won something ridiculous, like 111 straight road games or something absurd.
1st and goal to
Lost
go
on
at
the
the
road
6-yard
for a
line.
decade.
Lithia
Timeout.
Dodge Red Zone
Billings,
defense.
their 1st of the half. This will also be a media timeout.
And I did a game with Jeremy Rindall standing at the top of the bleachers with the wind coming over
Some of
the
your corporate sponsors
over the
tonight,
back of the
Western
bleachers.
Security Bank. Glacier Express Car Wash, Automatic Doors, Wildfire Auto Body. Don't forget the after game party at Shooters. Your kickoffs and field goals brought to you by ERA, American Real Estate.
I guess 20 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yep.
Here left in regulation.
Think they're going to come up with 29?
Your DJ tonight, Mr. David Austin, Magic City Productions.
As they will bring it back to the line of scrimmage.
They got a good 5 yards. That's all they need. Let's see if they don't turn it over again.
And what they're trying to do here, if you go empty backfield, you can only have the one man in motion. But what they're doing is they're starting the wide receiver that is in motion about 8 or 9 yards back, so that if he can time it right, he can be absolutely at full speed when he hits the line of scrimmage. The defensive back cannot, because the defensive back has to wait and see which way he goes and then rotate his hips and follow. And so they're hoping to gain a little bit of an advantage. Down here inside the 7-yard line, they don't need much of one.
Yep, and here goes the quarterback as he's in shotgun formation. It is going to be an incomplete pass.
Pass is incomplete.
Batted down by number 24.
Sets up a second
for
down.
The
Back
Outlaws.
to the
Trying to figure out
6-yard
who
line.
you ought to call the pick on there. There were about 3 or 4 wide receivers all sort of running into a bunch. He threw it into the middle and said, I don't know, I hope somebody in the white and navy blue can hold on to this.
I think there's more black jerseys than white jerseys.
There were 3 white jerseys and 4 black jerseys. Thought, well, okay. I guess when you're down 29 in a game that doesn't count,
you gotta get desperate
you take
somehow.
your chances, yeah.
Yep. Back in the huddle is the Pitbulls from Dallas. Outlaws have been doing it all game long. Just their defenses just stopped the Pitbulls in every way they've tried, running, throwing the ball, and they haven't really got downfield much this half either.
Second down, 6-yard line.
This is their best drive of the game by far in terms of moving it down the field in an orderly fashion. Ball snapped, direct snap to the quarterback this time. Tries to get to the outside and nothing.
Outlaws with a stop at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, or a couple feet.
Yeah, maybe not even that much. So he gets back to the line of scrimmage and a little more, but not much. It's going to be 3rd down and goal to go. They are in right about the 5-yard line, so they've got a couple of shots here, and you would imagine, one, haven't kicked the ball all night, so no reason to think they would start now down 29. Yep. But second of all, down 29, you're in desperate need of points as that clock continues to run. Ticks down under 3.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So
ball is placed at the 5-yard line. Sets up a 3rd down brought to you by Moto Mortgage.
But I'll tell you what,
3rd down, trying to make some noise. It is time. 3rd down, 3rd down, 3rd down.
Because that defense has not been able to.
Number 52 says Nicholas Gentry makes some noise. Gentry.
They've looked better on both sides of the ball all night long.
Yep, and here comes the Pitbulls now, shotgun formation. 3 receivers to his
Flag
left and a flag on the play.
Delay a game. They didn't get it off. Yep.
Shut up. State Farm.
Well, that's just what you didn't need if you were
Number 3 on the offense.
the Pitbulls. They will come back to the line of scrimmage, but it will be backed up 5 yards, so it'll be
Back
3rd
to
and
the
goal
10-yard
now, just
line.
outside
That's why
the
we make
10,
some noise
rather
at
than
3rd
just outside the 5.
down. That's why we make noise.
2 shots to get in, but
It's your house.
the Pitbulls go in the wrong direction as they seemingly have as much as they've gone forward tonight. The old Springsteen song, 1 step up and 2 steps back. That's kind of been the story for the Pitbull offense all night long tonight.
Yep, so now we got a shotgun formation, which they've done all game long. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and a high snap. And now he's looking around. He's going to scramble, run straight into number 52 for the Outlaws, and it is going to be, they can't bring him down.
on the play.
No, you can't get the bowling ball to get down to the ground.
Nicholas.
They did stand him up. He will pick up. No, actually, he's going to lose a couple of yards. So it's going to be 4th and goal now at the 13. As we tick under 2 minutes to go, they're going to have to run at least 1 more play here before the end of the 3rd quarter. I guess I don't know if they take a timeout, that'll stop the clock, so it won't do them any good.
Yeah, Outlaws lead
Ball
with a
moves back to the
29-point lead.
13-yard line. CQ Fire safety
halftime with
says
35-20.
4th down.
Is that 3 touchdowns? No, 2. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. And nothing for Pitbulls in the second half.
Yeah, the Pitbulls haven't gotten anything going here in the third quarter at all, and we'll see whether or not they can cash this one in. But if they don't, they will have wasted what may very well be the only realistic, or their last realistic opportunity to make this a ball game.
Yep, so now shotgun formation, fires into the corner.
Pass
It's going
is
to be
incomplete.
incomplete for number 3. That is going to be turnover on downs. And Outlaws will take over on offense with 1:13 to play.
And the wide receiver absolutely incensed down there. He was open and he knew it, and wasn't able to get
Your defensive coordinator
the ball
tonight,
up off the ground enough to be able to pull it in. So that will fall
Johnson.
harmlessly to the turf. Outlaws will take over, and now all of a sudden that penalty and the sack kind of work to your advantage. Because rather than giving the football back at the 5-yard line, it gives the Outlaws a little bit of room to operate. I'm guessing probably 2 plays here before the end of quarter number 3.
14-yard line.
Obviously with a
First down,
29-point
18.
lead. In no hurry whatsoever to move the ball down the field. And we've got a third quarterback in there now. Number 5 for the Outlaws is coming in to take some snaps and see what he's got. He throws a sidearm pass out to the outside. It is caught, but they're going to say the wide receiver was down. Pickup of about 4 on the play.
That's Carlos Quintero is the quarterback, I guess, for right now, with a rolling under a minute here in the third. And they're already set to go at the line for the Outlaws.
Well, I lost my $5.
You lost your $5?
Gonzaga got beat.
Gonzaga got beat.
Gonzaga got beat by Arkansas. As the Outlaws going to pick up
Quintero with the keeper.
about 4 on the play. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Yeah, it looks like the Outlaws, or the Zags got beat 74-68 by the Razorbacks. So Nolan Richardson someplace very, very happy indeed. And Texas Tech up on Duke 33-29.
Oh, dang.
That one.
Couple of upsets coming.
Yeah, Duke ain't done yet.
Yeah, Duke ain't done yet. Coach K got
Passes
something in the bag.
I'm sure he does, and they're only down 4 at halftime, so they've still got time. That'll take us to the end of the third quarter of play with our score Outlaws 49.
Into the third quarter of play. Booyah!
29-point game. Outlaws heading into the fourth quarter with 15 minutes left in regulation.
Billings Outlaws.
Trying to just increase their lead.
That's the end of the third
still
quarter.
Trying to get things rolling here late in the game.
And the officials signaling something to one another. I'm not sure what they were doing here. Normally you flip the field, and they are going to do that. Okay, they are going to flip the field. I was going to say they're only going to move it about 4 yards, but
corporate sponsors in this fourth
15
quarter.
minutes of running
Cajun
clock left
Patty.
to go. As,
Brothers Billiards.
The Outlaws
Chip and Tracy alignment and auto sales.
Thus far,
Moto.
more than double
Morgan.
up. 20 on the
Kirkus Rupping.
side of the ledger.
Hampton
The
Inn.
Outlaws
Sean
a full
O'Daniel.
49,
State
and
Bar.
perfect on conversions thus far tonight. Everybody heading to the fourth quarter. The Outlaws coming together, putting those hands up in the air with the 4 fingers as they head to the fourth quarter.
So how does the mercy roll? Is that still like there's no
Professional football, baby. There's no mercy rule.
It just kicked into my head right as you said that.
No mercy rule. No mercy rule at the professional level. Sometimes I will tell you, I have done a lot of games like
You
this.
wish
where
that there
you're
was
like, you know, really, I'd kind of be all right with it. You could just run that thing. Let's get out of here. But no mercy rule. The good thing, however, is that you know, in a game like this, the clock mostly runs anyway. And until it gets to the last 2 minutes, and that doesn't necessarily, you know, there's a lot of discretion, shall we say, granted to the officiating crew as you get towards the end of a ball game. As everybody realizes, you know, look, visiting team, win, lose, or draw, has a long ride home.
Yep.
And, you know, they want to get out of here and they want to get on the road so they can get home to their families. And,
at the 23-yard line.
It'll take them a couple of days if they win by 5.
It's a long ways back to Dallas. Yeah, no, it's going to be a long, lonely stretch of road driving through Nebraska and Oklahoma.
Yep, Carlos Quintero now throws in, caught
Passes
by number
complete.
21 for the Outlaws here on the left side of the field. Got a good first down.
Receiver number 21, Daryl Crenshaw.
For the Outlaws.
Junior, second down.
Beautiful.
First downs brought to you by A-Team Contracting all season long here in 2022. That was a fourth down. Those, of course, brought to you by CQ Fire and Safety.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass through the Pitbull defenders. There's two of them on him, and you just kind of split them.
Quintero splitting the uprights there. His clock will kick in once again. 14:40 to go here in the fourth quarter of play.
Yep, man in motion, shotgun formation, throw to his right, caught, and he's going to be pushed against the walls.
Pass is complete to Brown.
And he will be spotted down near the 12-yard line.
12-yard line, yep. It does take some getting used to because the field is so short that, you know, there is no 33.
Yeah.
You get to the 25 and then you start to count backwards again. And that does take a little bit of getting used to for sure. But the Outlaws spent most of the night in the right end of the field for them as Quintana once again all day to throw the football.
Yeah, they got him good. It is going to be incomplete. He had daylight. He probably sat there for a good 30.
Oh, he did, yeah.
30, 45 seconds.
He had plenty of time back there, no question about it. Good job by the Pitbull defensive backfield as they were able to keep the wide receivers in check. That is a difficult task. I don't care whether you're playing indoors, outdoors. I don't care who's under center. It's hard to hold the defense for that long, but the Pitbull defense doing a nice job in the secondary there. As Quintero unable to find anybody.
Yeah, it's a nothing goal for him now. Two receivers to his right in motion, and now he's going to look. No, he's going to roll and throw it into the stands.
Hardest pass in football to throw. He's running towards that sideline and tries to throw it out in front of him and get a little bit of oomph on it. He got a little too much there. It went over the top and into the stands, so somebody gets themselves a souvenir, and that'll bring up fourth down and about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 to go for the first. They'll go empty once again, two wide receivers to either side.
Yep, now Quintero in the backfield, shotgun formation, two men in motion. Snap is up, and he's going to roll right, and he's going to keep the football, and he's going to roll left and spin it into the end zone. And what a play for Quintero.
Number 5,
quarterback keeper, and made it work for the Billings Outlaws.
Another good job by the secondary, sticking with the wide receivers there. The downside, you leave the quarterback uncovered, and he does his best Patrick Mahomes imitations as well. This is what you're going to give me. This is what I'll take. But you know what? Once you cross that plane, it still counts for 6. So he's going to put 6 more on the Outlaws side of the ledger. 55-20. Now your score pending the 8th extra point of the night from young Mr. Daly.
Yep, let's see if he can go 8 for 8. He's been perfect for today. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. Came down and hit the official on the head.
Bad snap, and he still got it down. A nice job by the holder there, getting it over and getting it down. And Luke Daly doing his part, kicking that one right between the uprights. I'm going to start calling him Plumb Bob. He keeps kicking them like that. I'll tell you what, he is
Number 5
not deviated
on the defense,
very much.
Didn't line up with a hand in the grass. That penalty has been declined.
Once again on the defense.
Try is good.
Obviously going to decline that. They'll go ahead and take the points. So 56-20 now your score.
36-point lead for the Outlaws, as they will continue to build their lead here in the fourth, as the Pitbulls have yet to get anything started in the second half. Just a dry spell.
Yeah, the stats for the second half of the Pitbulls are going to be real easy. We're done.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. A couple people made a few tackles, not very many. We did nothing on the offensive side of the ball. That's pretty much what their box score is going to say here after halftime. But still, I think some things you can take out of it. For the Pitbulls, they obviously will have lots of opportunity to watch the film on the way home and pick that apart in pieces if they choose. Daly's got it teed up at his own goal line. And he will come up and kick this one away.
It'll get a nice bounce, and it will be fielded in the end zone, and now picked off, run to his left, and it's going to be brought down, and a flag is going to be thrown near the 10, 11-yard line.
I think it's going to be a block in the back, so that's going to back Pitbulls up even further.
Would you say this is the worst field position they've played?
Yeah, be holding on the offense, so this will back them up. Half the distance to the goal. They were only at the 8-yard line, so that's going to put them back inside their own 5. I guess, you know, on the upside, you don't have as much room to operate in the indoor game because of the shorter and more narrow field. If you back yourself up inside the 5, you got a little bit more to work with over the top. So we'll see whether or not they can take advantage of that. This Outlaw defense has been impressive here tonight. A couple of busted plays, but other than that, that's pretty much it. And they've been able to do absolutely nothing through the air.
Yeah, just stonewall against the Pitbulls.
Yeah, they have got the 4-yard line. Quarterback has spent the entire night. If he drops back to pass, regardless of who the quarterback has been, the guys out there in baby blue and white, they have been running for their lives all night long. And this Outlaw defense, the secondary has held up well. The only offense they really have gotten going at all has mostly really been on busted plays. They had one good running play that went as planned. The rest of it has entirely just been quarterback, you know, jailbreaks, trying to figure out how to get something out of nothing. And every now and then they've actually managed to get something.
Yep, here comes the screen pass from Dallas, and now he tries to fight his way through the sideline, but just could not get anything going and was pushed against the side by number 6 for the Outlaws.
So that clock will tick under 11 minutes to go now.
Well, it's at the 9-yard line, set up a second down.
Officials to spot the football, or is it just hidden behind those big bodies? I think it is on the ground. It's spotted behind those big bodies. I just can't see it from this vantage point. But Pitbulls in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage for whatever reason. Obviously, have some things that they're trying to work on as they head into their regular season as well.
Yeah, they just have nothing going, and just a dry spell in the second half. I mean, they still have 20.
It's going to be, yeah, no.
It's going to be a rough drive home. And here comes the high snap, and number 43 will dive on this one. Wait, but they're going to rule it out because they hit the wall.
Well,
is that?
I'm not sure. We'll see here.
Ruling on the field.
Yep,
okay, all right.
The wall. Yep, it went up on top. If it goes up above the edge of the board, then that's ruled out of play.
Okay.
And so that's going to be where what the call is. But it's going to be 2 more for the Outlaws, so we're up to 58 now, and still 10.5 to go. The Outlaws will be getting the football back, and once again, you know, we've talked about it at halftime that. You know, you would be able to think early on in the season, yeah, there's going to be some growing pains, there's going to be some struggles. I know your starting quarterback's not in there right now, but they have just struggled mightily with the quarterback center snap tonight, and it has caused problems.
It's been high, it's been low, it's been left, it's been right.
It's caused problems for them all night long, and that has certainly contributed to the difficulties trying to throw the football, and the Pitbulls trying to work on some things, but I'll tell you what, if you can't do the most basic of things, it's difficult to really get a read on what you do well or what you don't, what you need to work on. You can't even get that part of it done. The rest of it's largely
Well, for right now, Outlaws has been just, it's been Outlaws.
It's been all Outlaws. It looked early like maybe this was going to actually shape up to be a ball game, some fight in the Pitbulls early on, but that sequence at the end of the half, well, I think that sequence at the end of the half, you know, I mean, you talk about, you know, momentum swings, and that's one of the things that, you know, the reason you defer to the second half is because you get the football to start the second half, and you don't know how the clock is going to play out. But if it plays out right, you can end up with exactly what you got at the end of the first half. The Outlaws score, they get a turnover in the end zone and get the ball back with a little under a minute to go. They drive down and score, then they take the opening kickoff down, and all of a sudden it goes from a close ball game to a 21-point lead, and the Pitbulls basically haven't had the ball.
Yep, so now for the Outlaws, it's going to be received and brought to midfield at the 25-yard line. Received by number 8. That's going to be Jamero Benson.
Just what you want, your backup quarterback returning kicks.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, and that's the thing about the indoor game is that, you know, I mean, Benson, I think, is one of those guys. He's clearly got a lot of athletic ability, and so you want him around. Is he going to start over CJ? No, he's not. And not at the quarterback position, but you wanted to find out tonight whether or not he was a viable option as a backup quarterback if something happened. So now the question is, okay, we know we're going to keep him. What else can he do?
Where do I put him?
Where can I put him out there? Because I want to get the ball in his hands. I want to use a playmaker. I want to get him the ball in space somewhere. How do I do that? And what is the most effective way to go about doing that? Obviously, kick return's one of the potential options there, and a big return there comes out of it. So, you know, we'll see whether or not that's something that remains in his repertoire the rest of the season.
Yep, so now it is going to be Outlaw ball, sitting at the 25-yard, 26. The point is at the very 26, with 9 minutes left to play in regulation. 24. Yep, you know, I started counting up again. 24-yard line.
Billings Outlaws
youth 26.
Move to May 14.
Goes 0 to 25 and then 25 to 0. The officials, for a second there, they were doing us a favor and starting the clock.
Yep, so it's 9:09 in regulation. And here the Outlaws come to snap this one in. The back is still Carlos Quintero. And in motion on the right side, 2 of them. The handoff to number 22 gets a block, and he's going to stay rolling up to the 20-yard line. He's going to get pushed down and carry himself all the way to the 16-yard line.
It'll be second down there for the Outlaws. That clock will continue to run. That is absolutely
Warren gets the ball to the 17-yard line.
Run for about -3 yards, and then another run for about 3 yards, and then pick up the first down. You only stop the clock once.
I guess.
That would be ideal.
Yep, now shotgun formation. Again, 2 men in the backfield. In motion, starting about right now. Now, here comes the hike, and they have the pressure, but he gets loose. Quintero now is going to turn on the jets, and here he comes, right side, and he's going to try to get to the end zone. He's going to be spotted down. There's also a flag on the play, but he's going to be spotted down a couple inches, maybe.
This is going to be interesting, because I think that's going to be a penalty in the end zone. So normally, you would get the ball first and goal at the 1. I'm
illegal defense, number 9. That penalty has been declined.
Yeah, they declined the penalty.
First down.
I'm guessing you declined the penalty if for no other reason than you get to pad his stats.
Yeah.
The effect is essentially the same. They probably gain about a half a lick in the football by taking the play over the penalty. So I guess you take it where you can get it. But you know, that was a nice play by the quarterback, and you want to make sure that he gets credit for that. Because a third-string quarterback, it's going to be a tough road to hoe to make this team.
Yep, here's the little just toss back. And he's going to take this one easily for the Outlaws into the touchdown and add to their lead, making that 64 to 20. Pitbulls taking a beating.
Illegal defense, number 22 wasn't lined up on the receiver. That penalty has been declined. Touchdown.
Yeah, there was a penalty, but it was declined.
And they declined that one as well, so of course they will take the point. So 64-20 your score, 8:16 to go here in the ball game as the Outlaws come out.
The extra point brought to you by ERA American
extra
Real
point
Estate.
kickoffs and extra points brought to you by the Fireplace Center of Billings, and field goals brought to you by ERA American Real Estate. Not a lot of field goals thus far this evening, as the Outlaws have done a spectacular job when they've gotten down into that red zone down there inside the 10-yard line. It's been all touchdown all the time, and with the one exception as the kick is, finally shanked. Well, I tell you what, when he decided to miss, that was a howitzer off to the left-hand side up there. That was sort of a duck and cover
where it was intended.
Did not. That is for sure. A bunch of guys diving for cover up there against the back wall of Metra. And didn't lack for length, that's for sure, but the accuracy a little bit, just a bit outside.
Yep, 44-point game. 64-20. This is the highest football game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
but it's indoor football.
It's indoor. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's, you know, you're
Just
in
throws
scoring
me
position anywhere on the field. Well, and you've seen it. I mean, if you weren't looking at the score,
Corporate
the Outlaws are
sponsors
definitely
include
outplayed.
Five.
I mean, they should be out comfortably.
Booyah!
By more than
Glacier
twice.
Express Car
I mean,
Wash.
they've got more than
Shooters.
The
Tempted
difference in
in.
points is more than double.
Automatic
It's more than,
doors.
2 times more than the
Outlaw
number of points
Nation.
that the Pitbulls have total. Because they've only got 20. If you double that, it's 40. That's still not catching the Outlaws.
It's almost, it's triple and a couple.
It's more than triple their score. So, you know, it's certainly, you know, I mean, it's been a dominating performance, to say the least, but not to that degree necessarily just watching it.
Yep, here's the split, picked up by number 9 and brought down. He ran for a good 5 yards.
Outlaws with a stop,
7
number 3.
yards, but just brought down by
Rashawn
number 21.
Sets up a first down
A couple
for
of
the
players.
Pitbulls.
I was talking about around 32, 21, and 3. As the Pitbulls will take over here on the 20-yard line. No. Yeah, I believe so. That's where they have the marker at.
Well, they're going to spot it. It looks like they're going to move it down to about the 18.
Okay. Yeah.
So they'll be at their own 18-yard line as that clock will restart. So we're under 8 minutes to go here. And the Outlaws, oh, nope, they're at the Outlaws 18. My apologies. So the Pitbulls continuing to go to work. They are continuing to work out of the huddle, which does seem a little bit curious to me, only because it is such a huge difference in points, and you could at least be working on your 2-minute
Lodestar,
drill
first
before
down
the
of the
ball game,
18-yard
you would
line.
think. But that's not what they're choosing to do. They're choosing to take their time.
Yeah, just trying to get experience at this point. Just
Trying to get experience
on the flow.
And I think, you know, at this point in the season as well, wanting to get out of here healthy. I mean, that's the other part of that.
You've seen multiple players down as well.
Yeah.
And
Pass is
ball
incomplete,
gonna be
sets up a
thrown
second
little bit
down.
over the intended receiver, number 13, over to the left and high.
I think that's overcompensation. He had a touchdown earlier that he short hopped into the receiver in the corner and knew he needed to get it up a little higher. That one, he just airmailed everybody, and that one goes into the stands. So a souvenir for some lucky fan down there behind the boards. As, all the spots down there around the boards certainly full this evening. Lots of good seats available on the upper tier, but all those seats down around the boards tonight certainly doing a nice job of filling those, and folks enjoying their Thursday night out.
Yep, so now here comes
second down,
Dallas up to the
18-yard
ball.
line. Pitbull.
And quarterback still number 3. They also have the starting quarterback in the backfield, just kind of giving directions. So now here it comes. They're looking in the middle, and it's going to be caught by number 11 and brought down by number 33.
The Outlaws with the stop, number 33, Devontae Brown.
Caught around the 5th. Was that around the 15? Okay, it's the 13-yard line for the Pitbulls.
So third down and about 5
Mono
yards to go
mortgage.
for the Bulls as they are
Tells you it's third down.
Between the 8 and 9.
Number 43, Ladarius Harris says,
to pick up a first down.
third
They can
down,
get a
make some noise, Outlaw fans.
Obviously, the
Third
game,
down.
for all intents and purposes, over at this point. Just kind of burning clock here, so it's a question of whether or not the Pitbulls have anything they want to work on the offensive side of the ball. They finally got the center snap correct, but here comes that defense once again and running for his life into the end zone. This one's picked off
He did it again.
Passes
Threw that one up, and that was even
intercepted,
worse.
number 18,
One receiver in the middle of 4 defenders, and that one hung in the air a long time.
Yep.
And any quarterback will tell you, you put a ball up in the air for that amount of time, you are flirting with disaster, and that's what happened there.
Yeah,
Number
it's just
18,
Outlaws. They bring the good defense, and they just make the quarterback scramble. Then he's more thinking about not making the good pass. He's more thinking about getting away from the people chasing him. And then it results in a bad mistake. And here comes the Outlaws with another possession.
Well, if you look at the guys that are chasing him, getting away from him is not a bad call. They do have ill intention, so you know if they catch you, that could end poorly. But yeah, putting the ball up like that, especially when you're down in that scoring position, trying
First
to get
down
out
on
of here
the
if you're
5-yard line,
something
brought to you by
positive at the end of the
18
game.
Contracting.
If you'd have been able to put some points on the board there, maybe get a stop, get the ball back, you know, you never know. Now you've given the Outlaws the whole field to work with to just basically run the clock out here, and I imagine that will be exactly what's on the agenda. We may find out whether or not Carlos can go the length of the field with his arm, but nope, this is going to go right up the gut.
Yep, and hand this one off, taking it to the right side, and he's still going. He's going to get all the way out to the 20. He
Number 22 with the carry, Shannon Warren. Flag on the play.
Right about the 20-yard line. They snapped that from about the 5.
Sponsor.
At the 5 exactly.
Back there, it's going to be illegal defense.
Illegal defense.
I believe, yep.
On Texas, not enough down linemen. That penalty has been declined. Results of the play are first down.
Dallas Pitbull player on the
Officials timeout.
floor. On the field down.
Oh, how nice.
Outlaw fans, first downs are brought to you by 18 Contracting. Third downs brought to you by Motorboard.
So the Outlaws with another great clever run by number 22. Just
we get in that red zone, it's Lithia
had
Dodd.
contact near
Timeouts brought to you by Bullwhacker.
17-20.
Touchdown, the Fireplace Center.
Earlier than that. He got hit early.
Kirkness Roofing,
no,
Premier Surface Solution, Granite of
Whoever has
Montana.
been in the backfield
Corporate
for the Outlaws
sponsor,
has just kind of been a
Outlaw
bouncing
Nation.
ball back there, and it has been tough. Well, really on both sides of the ball. That's where the Pitbulls have had success as well. Is you know, when they've been able to get that running game going. You know, I mean, they get that big running back going, and he is tough to bring down. That's a lot of human being to get to the turf, and that's been difficult. The Pitbull player tried to get up and walk off under his own power, and his right leg rather collapsed. So I'm not sure what's going on. I think it's an ankle because he was thinking that he might be able to hobble off on his own power, but it does not appear that that's going to be on the agenda.
Yep.
It's one of the offensive linemen, so this is going to be a bit of a production to get that much beef off the field, I think.
Yeah. When you're rolling with that much weight. But I mean, you're rolling with that much weight and muscle.
There's a lot of weight. There's a lot of muscle.
You land on a foot wrong. That's a lot of weight going on that foot.
And when you're down in the trenches like that, the other thing that often happens is, you know, it's not even so much just what you bring to the table, but it's the opportunity that you can step on somebody else's foot. And it's got, you know, it's just an unfortunate circumstance, but the reality is you got north of 350 coming down on somebody's foot and you step a little bit wrong. The human body the ligaments just aren't designed to support that sort of pressure, and they don't. And that's what happens. And, you know, things snap, and then you get those types of situations, and it just, you know, it's an unfortunate circumstance, especially early on in a season like this, because you get that sort of an injury. If he's ruptured an Achilles or something along those lines, you know, he's going to be done for the season for sure. And you hope it's not something that ends up being career-ending.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up.
Yep, he is
Lone Star Pitbull.
Time walking off the field. He's giving it the old college try, doing his best, and he is walking. So hopefully he's going to be able to at least get to the sideline where they can get him off of that foot.
Yep, as the Outlaws will now take to the ball with 2 receivers in the backfield. One up
First down of the
near line of
22-yard
scrimmage over
line.
at the left. And shotgun formation for Quintero. And number 22 right by his side, that's going to be Shannon Warren. So here comes the hike, 2-man in motion, shotgun formation, rolls out to his left, looking deep, and now he's going to be caught in the backfield, and he's going to try to get it loose, but he's going to be taken down.
Stopped by the Lone Star, back at the 20-yard line.
By the Pitbulls, and still running clock.
It should be, but it's not.
Is it
and everybody
under
on the
2
field?
minutes?
Everybody on the field.
Legal defense, number 15, lined up
Oh, was there a
over
penalty?
5 yards.
I
from
didn't
the
see a
line.
flag
5
at
yards
all.
from the previous
He must
spot.
have thrown it and picked it
Stays
up.
first down.
This is one of those things. This drives me nuts. I don't care what sport you're talking about. I don't
Penalty
care what
brought to you
level you're
by
talking about.
Sean O'Daniel.
When you get a
State
game
Farm
like this,
Insurance.
and you're the officials, the illegal defense didn't have anything to do
with the play. Yep.
Just let it go.
17-yard line,
here to be
first down
noticed.
for the Billings. Outlaws.
Stop inserting yourself
18
where it's completely
contract.
unnecessary.
Yeah, you'll have like a good 80-yard throw. Like if you're like an actual football, you have like just a beautiful play or indoor football, and then like there'll just be a block in the back over here in this left-hand corner.
That had nothing to do with the play. You know, really? Come on. It's still going on SportsCenter. It's not going to make any difference.
Yep, so now number 5 will connect. No, he will not, but it's going to be tipped and intercepted by Dallas. And you might have wanted to do that a couple quarters ago.
Yeah, it would have been.
If you were trying to get something going.
If you were trying to get something going. I mean, at halftime, this was a manageable game. They were down 2 scores, but if you could get a stop on that first drive or even score after the first drive and get it back to a 2-score game, obviously down 2 scores, kicking the ball off to start the third quarter, you were going to need some stops in there someplace. And they just haven't been able to get them at any point, really. And that's the second time I think they've stopped them all night, both times by virtue of turnover. And at this point, it's all over but the crying at this point. And the Outlaws and Pitbulls both just trying to make sure they get out of here as healthy as they are right now. And, you know, just trying to make sure that nobody else has any injuries as that clock will continue to run.
First down on the 8-yard line.
Inside of 3 minutes as we snap the football here. And if anybody throws a delay of game penalty, I'm going to throw something.
Yep, here's the high snap and the terrible handoff, and it'll come to a Dallas pickup, and it's sacked in the end zone.
No, they're going to give them forward progress out of the end zone, so it'll be
okay.
Yeah, they'll have the ball second down. But again, a bad snap
led to a bad handoff.
Led to a bad handoff and led to a mess, and now we got another player down on the field.
Timeout. Officials.
Just get him up and wheel him off. Let him play 8 on 7. It's not like it matters.
Yeah, just sub him out real quick.
He's right there by the exit.
He can crawl. It's crawling distance.
Corporate sponsors include Metro RV Center.
Yep, Outlaws just getting it done here at home at the Metro Park Arena, 64-20.
It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors, Jacobs Contracting, Era American Real Estate, Fireplace Center of Billings, 18 Contracting, Moto Mortgage, CQ Fire and Safety, Lithia Dodge, Fireplace Center of Billings Clinic, Just One More Bar and Casino, Jersey Mike's, Kiss of Color, Shields, Bullwhackers, Curtis Roofing, and Premier Surface Solutions Granite of Montana. Well, our players of the game coming in, Charles McCullum, Tyrone Laughinghouse, Denarius, Soul Taker Antoine with a pick tonight, and Dylan Donahue. None of those guys got a ton of time tonight. Those guys, obviously people that the Outlaws
have
pretty
a guaranteed
comfortable,
spot.
knew they were coming in. They were going to make the team. They weren't guys they really needed to take a look at tonight. We haven't seen a ton of them. They did get some play early, and they made some big plays when they were out there. And I think, you know, from the Outlaws standpoint, you got to feel good about what you take out of this. It was a dominating performance. That's what you wanted to see. But it was a dominating performance without a lot of your frontline guys on the
players,
field.
yeah.
And so the guys you wanted to take a look at, see if they were going to make the team, see where you needed to make cuts, if you had to, all those kinds of things. I think they got some answers tonight because the second and third team guys, they played well tonight. As Donahue actually back in there, well rested, and he gets to the quarterback again and takes him to the turf with reckless abandon, and a show of sportsmanship helps him up afterwards, slaps hands with the fans in the end zone, and holds up not that finger, just the one. Doesn't get credit for the sack because he did get rid of the footballs. We'll
Ball is
take
at
under 2 minutes to
the
go.
3-yard line.
Yeah, he just kind of got desperate and just threw it away there. I mean, you don't want to risk getting
Number
a safety.
79 is Latrell Golden, and he wants some noise. Billings Outlaw fans. Latrell Golden.
Yep, coming down to a minute 45 in regulation. And now, here they are, shotgun formation. Two receivers to his left. One in the back, man in motion, and another one to his left. And here it comes, the long throw, but it's a low.
Incomplete pass. Sets up a fourth
And
down.
another incomplete pass that'll set up fourth down and long.
So they're going to need to run one more play, I think. And it will bring up fourth down. Well, it's just stop on change of possession. So they're going to have to run one more play. If they don't pick it up, then the Outlaws going to be able to send somebody out
Timeout.
there.
Media.
Seriously?
And a timeout.
Oh, it's a media timeout. Why? Media's
Ladies
got
and
no
gentlemen,
answer.
your head coach for the Billings Outlaws, Brian.
Well, we'll keep it right here. Exactly a minute to go. As the Outlaws put the burden on the visiting Pitbulls. Going to make that a very long bus trip back to Texas. 64-20 your score. In some ways, Anderson, not. It seems crazy to say it, 64-20, not even that close, but it was a ball game at halftime.
It was.
It seems like an eternity ago at this point, but it was a ball game at halftime. The Outlaws just came out, obviously the halftime adjustments, a little better for the guys in black and blue than the guys in white and baby blue, and that has certainly borne itself out, and they have absolutely dominated the second half of play, and 64-20 is the result. They were up at halftime, but they were up 35-20 at halftime, and they've put another 29 up on the board. So an impressive second half, to say the least. The only, if you're looking for a flaw, the old coach in me saying I got to have something to complain about. You missed an extra point. On the other hand, the good part of that is, well, yeah, but you made a whole bunch of them, which means you got in the end zone a lot.
Yep, and now number 3 is going to throw it all the way down, and it's going to be caught. He's going to keep it and get it all the way down to the 5-yard line. First down for, I swear I've never said that this game. First down for the Pitbulls.
For the Pitbulls, yeah. There have not been many, that's for sure. First downs brought to you all season long by A-Team Contracting. It's been an interesting game that way. The Outlaws have been so dominant that the Pitbulls really haven't gotten very many first downs, and the Outlaws, for the most part, have scored so quickly that they haven't gotten very many first downs either. There's certainly lots of points up there, but with the short field and the opportunity to score from anywhere, the Outlaws have been able to put points up in bunches and in a hurry. And so that's the result, is a 64-20 score, as we're under 50 seconds to go here in the ball game.
Yep, here comes the snap, and here comes the throw way out in front of him. Almost, there was number 6 in the backfield for, not the backfield, I guess.
Somebody's got
the end zone. Almost intercepted that one. If he was closer, just by a couple feet.
And we are inside of a minute, so the incomplete pass stops the clock. I wish somebody would tell the scorekeeper to just shut the rule book on this one. Doesn't count anyway. Just let that bad boy go.
Yeah.
But gonna play by the rules. So 44.1 to go here in the ball game. The Outlaws all over the Pitbulls, 64-20.
Yep.
Coming back to the line of scrimmage.
Yep, Pitbulls, they're gonna see if they can get maybe a touchdown in, but I don't know. I mean, the Outlaw defense has just been shining through today.
They have been remarkable, especially here in the second half, no question about it.
Yep.
The Pitbulls would like to get something to get out of here on a positive note, but that Outlaw defense, I'm sure, fully aware they pitched a shutout here in the second half of play, and they are wanting to keep it that way. By the time this gets, they're going to call a timeout. I was going to say, they don't have to run another play.
Texas, they're first of the half.
But they will call a timeout just to stop the clock. It's second down, so it looks like they are going to try and make sure they get into the end zone, get some points here, and get out of here with something positive for the bus ride home. Not going to make a whole lot of difference in the outcome, that's for sure, but I guess it does give you a little something positive to talk about if you can get into the end zone. I guess the downside, on the other hand, is, well, look, you haven't been able to do squat in the second half. If you're going to take timeouts now and you still don't get in, then you really got nothing good to talk about.
I mean, yeah, if you can get nothing going in the second half and you're trying to come out with a good season at least, then you're looking at, we'll see how their season goes, but For right now, Outlaws looking strong here in this. Would you call this an inaugural game?
It is. No, absolutely. I mean, the franchise has been here in name as the. Oh, a nice job getting rid of the football. He was wrapped up. They can call him in the grass, but keep that clock running.
Yep.
Give him credit for throwing it away, so they won't back it up. It will bring up third down for the Pitbulls at about the just across the 5-yard line, 5 and a little bit.
Yeah, one more play.
One more play. It's fourth down, so yeah, no reason to preserve clock at this point. But probably two more. Well, yeah, probably 2 more plays because one of 2 things is going to happen. They're either going to score, and it'll go over on downs, and there'll still be time left, or they won't score, and it'll turn over on downs, and there'll still be time left. So, one way or another, there's going to be 2 more plays here, barring a penalty.
Unless they decide just to.
Fourth down of the 5-yard line.
They could just. Well, it wouldn't matter if they down it, then they blow it dead. And I mean, they should. I guess you could just run around.
Just run in the backfield and just wait for 23 seconds.
Do that. I don't think if I was the quarterback, I would bank on this defense leaving you alone for that.
There he is again, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only number 56.
Not letting him get any good opportunities and turnover on downs.
A fitting end, the way this defense is playing the second half, is they'll end it with. Now, they didn't get the sack, I guess, as he was able to throw it away, but certainly, once again, all kinds of pressure on the quarterback, and the Outlaws will come out, presumably in victory formation, take 1 kneel down, and it looks like they may just wave this one on. No, they are going to send him out and make him snap the ball 1 more time. But presumably,
probably just down it.
I would assume they will just down it, yes.
Unless they want to make it 70 and go for a
Dylan Donahue
touchdown throw, but I would assume that they would just down it.
You could. I mean, you got 4 shots at it. You could certainly try and get there. It'd take you a little time to get down to the end zone, I guess. So at least twice, maybe 3 times, possibly 4, if you really want to rub it in. But yeah, I would anticipate probably either a kneel down or they'll just run this one right up the gut.
18.6 seconds.
Well, I mean, they are in a normal formation.
They are
2 in
in
the
a
back,
normal
1 in the left. And here they come, 2 men in motion. And on the last, and they're going to take it in, step forward and down it, which that will bring it to the end of regulation.
10 seconds, Outlaw Nation.
With 8 seconds
How
running
about
off the
those
clock.
Billings
So your final
Outlaws?
score is 64-20.
Outlaws 64-20, Lone Star.
This 2022 season.
Cheers after
You're right, an
game.
interesting question.
Thank you, and drive safely. Your Outlaws win tonight.
A lot of new pieces, a lot of new faces, a lot of new players, and both literally and figuratively, as no carryovers from that 2010 championship team at this point in terms of players, new ownership, new coaching staff, all of those things, but a similar outcome here to what fans in Billings remember from the team that carried this name, as the Outlaws dominating tonight, no question about it, 64-20. So it was a pleasure, young man, doing the game with you. I know you got to get
appreciate it.
Get to school tomorrow, and yeah, we'll have to keep you updated. The Outlaws will be back in action a week from Saturday. They are on the road for that first home game, I believe. I don't have a schedule in front of me, so we'll have to check on that. But the ads will be running on 105.1 ESPN on the FM dial and on 910 AM as well. That is your home for the Outlaws all season long. I want to take one more opportunity to thank our sponsors: Jacob Contracting, ERA American Real Estate, Fireplace Center of Billings, A-Team Contracting, Moto Mortgage, CQ Fire and Safety, Lithia Dodge Billings Clinic. Just one more bar and grill. Jersey Mike's, the Kiss of Color, proud sponsor of the dance team out there on the field right now. The Outlaw players as well. For folks that want to come down and shake the hands of the players, get some autographs, you can do that right now. Shields, the sponsor of the kids camp. Bullwhackers, Kirkness Roofing, Premier Surface Solutions, and Granite of Montana. For Anderson McGivern, a little help from Jonathan as well. I'm Dave Sibley. We'll be back with you throughout the 2022 season. You're listening to Outlaws Football on ESPN 910, ESPN 105.1 KBLG. We'll be back with you further down the line. Good night.